What's up, nerd family? We're live now. Got somebody. I know. We're live now, guys. Sorry about that. It took us a minute to get on here. It's been a day. I'm sure you guys don't know anything about that, though. You know, craziness that's been going on all over the world the last couple days. But welcome to the live stream. We're here. I'm here. You're here. The dogs are here. And it's time to watch Star Wars.
All I can see is Harley looking at my popcorn.
Yeah, we got popcorn. We're ready to watch some Star Wars a little later than usual. But
Caleb said sup.
what's up, Caleb? Good to see you, sir. My other device here has to charge up before I can see who's doing what. But yeah, tons of stuff going on in the
Just
world.
Caleb right now.
Okay. Hey, that's cool. I like Caleb. Caleb's a good guy. I'm good with Caleb. It's been a crazy day trying to take care of a bunch of stuff and make sure that we're all taken care of and that you know, just dealing with the complexities of how to handle the meeting place agenda and stuff and trying to figure all that out. But we got it all worked out by the end of the day. To make sure everybody knows what they're doing, where they're going, what we're not doing, right? All that stuff. So, man, movies getting pushed back to next year. It's crazy. Disney World shut down.
My biggest concern is Logan. We paid for a trip for him to go to DC. I'm hoping he can still go at some point this year. And two, Isaac is graduating this year, and I'm really hoping that doesn't get pushed back. If it's an emergency caused by the mayor, which has happened in Michigan, they don't have to make that up, but they still have to make up snow days if they use those.
Yeah.
And then there is spring break in the third week that they're off. I'm just hoping it doesn't push his graduation back.
Yep.
So, and he's the same way. He'd rather go to school than.
Yeah.
Darth Tasty said, "Good evening. My day has been crazy as well."
I hear you, man. Yeah, Ryan and I were messaging each other back and forth a little bit, and I'm sorry to hear about the schools in your area. All of our schools are closed for 3 weeks.
Soonest they're going back is April 8th or 6th.
5th, because we're on the same. Yeah, they'd go back the 6th. Yeah, they'd go back the 6th because the thing is till the 5th. So all churches aren't supposed to, because we're not supposed to have meetings of over 250 people, and so, you know, our
Darth
building.
says, "I work in a school as well. I got laid off. Ours is March 30th, hopefully." Caleb says, "So I haven't watched it yet, so I'm gonna watch it and come back in later. Had a crazy day. My county is on lockdown. Someone tested positive for the virus and is currently missing, so that's fun."
Wow. So
I work in the medical field and I'm on call, so I'm a little nervous about how this weekend may go.
there's a crazy story about the boys' school and about people, and I haven't even told you this story, but there's some craziness that I'll share at another time, but not today, because it's not for me to tell right now, because I'm privy to some information. But my goodness, just the
And this is Star Wars, not.
yeah, the absurdity of what's going on right now, and just how things are connected and how quick this thing is moving. Tell you what was that movie that, or what was that TV show, Last Man on Earth? That all of a sudden virus went around and.
Better than the one where the wind killed him.
As long as we're all, better than The Happening, with all the plants got together and killed all the people, right? I'd rather be Will Forte, though, and be able to drive any car I want and drive it all over the country.
We can just call you Tandy.
You can call me Tandy. All right. Well, I got it up here, and we are looking at episode 4, Unfinished Business, here. So, we are going to set it all up. I got it on the main screen here for those of you who want to take a minute.
I love the fact that they're called the Bad Batch.
I know. So we're gonna let you guys have a second here to just get all set and ready, and then we will get ready to go. We'll watch this thing, have some fun. I'm gonna logging here to the live stream so I can hear what you guys.
Speaking of live streams,
Yeah.
not only because of what's going on in the country, knowing that we are in the ministry, the girl that I work with, one of my coordinators,
Yeah.
has not been to church in a while, and when she found out that we live streamed,
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna start watching our live streams, and then when things blow over after all this,
Yeah.
she's gonna come visit our church
Well, that's cool.
with her son.
That's cool. All right. All right, Darth Tasty. Well, you know what? Let's do
Darth
it then.
says it's just me anyway. I'm ready. LOL.
Welcome, Ryan. This is your private live stream right here. I feel like we should just like bring you on Facebook and just like we could just set you here and we could just all watch together.
It's like just Darth.
All right, we'll see who else comes in, but that's okay. All right, guys. So here we go. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Circling. There it is. There it is.
Reunited! With the help of the Bad Batch, Captain Rex rescues his old friend Trooper Echo from the Techno-Union. The separatist loss of Echo's strategic algorithm provides a chance for the Republic to turn the tide in the battle for an Axis. However, Echo's horrifying experience behind enemy lines leaves lingering questions of his true loyalty and uncertain future.
We have more than a dozen active battlefronts on the Axis, and we are losing nearly every one.
Why is it that Mace
But
Windu just always
Admiral
looks
Trench
ticked
can no
off?
longer anticipate our moves. We now have the
These guys are
opportunity to
throwing
retake
well.
the planet.
I can improve your chances. Excuse me, generals. Echo, I'm sorry, but I just don't think you're ready for battle yet. I am not a liability, Rex. I'm the best chance we have to take back an Axis.
If the trooper has a plan, I'd like to hear it.
May I?
Let me give you a hand.
It's like Asterix the Evil Dead.
While Master Windu leads a team to retake the assembly complex, the Bad Batch will escort me into Trench's new comm vault, which, according to current intel, is now located on this separatist dreadnought above an Axis. Once I'm plugged in, I can feed Trench strategies, but this time, you'll know every move before he makes it.
And you are certain that if we get you on board that ship, that you can convince Trench's
Nobody's
army
eyebrow is
to do what you want?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I've been doing this for a while, but this time, I can help bring about a Republic victory instead of a defeat. Tech, is everything ready? Yep, Sarge, we are ready. Still not sure how we're gonna land on that ship. Don't worry. Echo says he's got a plan. That makes me feel so much better. What do you mean by that? To be blunt, his mind belonged to the Separatists until we unplugged him. We don't really know where his loyalties lie. Yeah, well, I know. Now get moving.
Yeah. Get moving. Get up there. Cool ship. The shuttle's a cool ship.
Please tell me we are blowing something up.
Sorry, Wrecker. This is strictly stealth.
I hate that word.
Echo, you're up.
Don't worry. As soon as I plug in, I'll send a signal to the command ship. What type of signal are you gonna send? Nothing that'll give us away, right? As far as the droids are concerned, we're just gonna be another one of their shuttles coming in for a landing. And the Regs think we take risks. sending the signal now.
Yep, it's one of ours. Roger, roger, Shuttle TC-159. You may approach and land.
I'd still rather blow it up.
I have a feeling you'll get your chance.
They don't have a visual on it. I mean, they saw that it was. Transformers! More than meets the eye!
Leader, you're clear for launch.
Copy that, General. We are going in.
Star Warriors! Separatists in disguise!
Admiral Trench, the Jedi are attacking the assembly plant with a large force.
Spider Walrus.
Yes. Now, I will use their arrogance and desperation to our advantage.
Tech, can you read an interface? I assume that's a rhetorical question. We should make sure this comm vault has no other entrances. I'm on it.
Contact Scarecrow. I want to use the outcome
Caleb know
to
that we hadn't
calculate
watched it yet?
the best possible counterattack. As you command.
All right, I have access to everything. And good timing. I'll just scan the strategy request Trench sent to the Techno Union. Wait, you can't just send a signal from here. Why not? We have to make it appear as if your signal is originating from Skako Minor. Otherwise, they'll know we are here.
I don't know, I'm just not 100% sold on Echo yet. Yeah, see, it's stuff like that that makes me feel like Mace Windu could have
My name
survived
is
in
General
Revenge of
Mace
the Sith.
Windu of the Jedi Order. At this point of the Clone War, I have dismantled and destroyed over 100,000 of you Type 1 battle droids. I'm giving you an opportunity to peacefully lay down your weapons so that you may be reprogrammed to serve a better purpose than spreading the mindless violence and chaos which you have inflicted upon the galaxy.
Blast them!
Well, I guess it was worth a try.
That's funny. But I mean, when you see them fall that far, it makes you feel like, well, I guess Mace Windu could have survived that fall in Revenge of the Sith.
Here's the new strategy from Skako, Admiral. Mobilize all troops on an axis to the assembly complex. The Republic will not send reinforcements. They will put all their faith in the Jedi. Give the order.
I'm intercepting a transmission.
You see that?
Trench is ordering all of his droids to
He said
the
give the
assembly
order.
complex.
Echo
All
here.
right, Echo, what are you trying to pull? Don't worry. That's what I told him to do. But our troops will be vastly outnumbered. Not when I send them a feedback pulse that shuts down all the droids. How do we know that's what you're really going to do? We have to trust him.
Rex is right. Echo, we're all counting on you.
Right?
Master Windu, I know this sounds crazy, but it's about to get a little more crowded where you are.
We have our hands full as it is. What is your plan?
That's the thing, Ryan. Everybody wants you to come back.
Echo is drawing all the droids to your position so we can neutralize them all at the same time.
I don't know.
Obi-Wan, Skywalker just contacted me. He said we've got a lot more droids headed our way.
I see Anakin is being as insightful as ever.
I was told not to worry. It was all part of their plan.
If I know Anakin, we've got the easy part.
What's up, William?
What's up, William?
Are going to overwhelm the Jedi. They don't stand a chance.
That guy's an idiot. The Walrus Fighter guy's never seen Star Wars.
Well, there weren't as many as I thought there were going to be.
Yes, well, he has little spider teeth and yet he's enunciating with you.
Does this meet your expectations?
This exceeds my expectations.
Mystery Ninja just said, well,
What's up, Mystery Ninja X?
What was that? We monitored a powerful energy surge, which has overloaded the droid circuitry. We are tracking the origin of this pulse now.
I am pleased to report that we are in control of the assembly complex, and all of the fronts are falling to the Republic, thanks to Echo's plan.
That's good news, Master Windu. We're on our way back to the base.
May the Force be with you.
Good job,
and
Echo.
also with you.
Well, I guess you actually are on our side. Was there ever any doubt? Some. Well, thanks. Come on, brother. Unplug and let's get out of here.
Algorithm has never been wrong before. How could we have missed this? The source originated on board this ship. Dispatch security droids. What about our apparent defeat?
Vader just said
A
negative.
wise leader does not rely completely on things
What's up, Vader?
such as algorithms. My personal strategy for victory is through total annihilation.
Wait, I just scanned a new order from Trench. He's initiated a countdown. There's a bomb hidden at the assembly complex, but it's big enough to destroy most of an axis.
Can you stop it?
Well, I can try. General, where are you going?
If you can't stop the detonation, perhaps Trench can.
You've been wanting to blow stuff up.
Continue your sweep, Jesse.
Sir, General Windu, this is Tech. We've discovered a bomb in the
I like
fusion reactor.
stormtroopers with blue
We
on
need
them.
someone to go down there and help disarm it.
I'm on my way. Get the
It's
men
not
out
a
there.
bullet, dude. It's all one link.
You heard General Windu. Organize your platoons and have them evacuate as soon as possible.
Sir, yes, sir.
I wouldn't do a mullet. I'll do all one link, though. Tiffany straightened my hair this last week and kind of kept it. This is how long my hair's been this whole time. It's just funny. It's just been so curly. Can't tell. But yeah, it's all the same. All the same length. It's party in the front, party in the back. 'Cause I'm all about that. Right, baby?
Are you?
All about party. He said something about I'm throwing the mullet. I said, no, this ain't a mullet. It's all the same length. It's party in the front and party in the back.
Vader says Anakin Skywalker hair.
Exactly.
Firehawk said, been a while since I've been here. Loving that hair.
Thank you. That's why I kept it this week, because I've gotten a lot of compliments on it. I just did it as a whim, as a joke.
Tell me the sequence to shut it down.
decrypting it now. You have to unplug. They're going to detect us. No, we need these codes. The first number in the sequence is 3.
I was waiting for it. First number in the sequence is 1.
The next is 1.
2. 3. 4.
The same number on my
5.
luggage.
7.
Jam the signal at its source.
They're ultras. We need to unplug now. The server overloaded his neural system, and it appears deliberate. That means Trench knows we're here.
Echo, are you there?
General Windu, Trench took out Echo. We can't get to the last number in the sequence. Sorry, General. We'll have to disarm that ball without us.
Don't worry about me, Captain.
Gonna have to
Just
guess.
get your men out of there.
Yes, sir.
I think it's time for MacGruber. MacGruber, we got 20 seconds till this whole thing blows.
The Jedi lacks the final sequences to stop the detonation. The loss of clones at the shipyard will seal the Republic's fate. Dispatch more units to deal with the infiltrators on the ship and prepare our landing craft.
I like that
for our
one, Darth
next
Tasty.
assault.
As you command.
Darth Tasty says I look like AJ Styles. That would be a head that I could get to put on. With this hair, I could totally do that. You just gave me a great idea. I've been looking for a head for an action figure.
Tell me the sequence to disarm the bomb.
Never. Dooku would kill me for losing Anaxis.
And you think I won't?
You're a Jedi. You're no weapon.
Oh!
I don't have such weaknesses. Now let's try that again.
Dang, Chip. You see that?
Mace, if you can't stop the detonation, you must leave now.
That is not an option. I still have a chance to stop this, even if it's down to my best guess.
How about I take the guesswork out of it, Master? Admiral Trench was kind enough to give me the final number himself. Try 7.
Good work, Skywalker. The bomb has been disarmed.
You both owe me one now.
And he lost the arm.
Oh! Don't tase me, bro. I'll put a lightsaber through you.
Wrecker's gonna love this. Admiral, it was a pleasure.
Blast the way out. Too many of them. What's he doing? Time to release the wrecking ball!
I love battle droids. Like, they're standing right there. Can even they be that bad?
Droids.
It's all clear!
Not in the face.
More droids. Go. I'll buy you some time. We'll meet you at the infiltration point.
Oh! He's gonna try and top me. You watch.
picking up dozens of droids on my sensors. All heading this way.
Hope you're not waiting on me.
Now all we're missing is Crosshair. You miss me? How touching.
Oh wow! Are you kidding me?
Long shot.
Relax, Wrecker. You'll top him next time. No, he won't.
That's funny.
I've got a present for you, Wrecker.
Oh, seriously? I'm gonna blow it up? The whole stinking thing? This is the happiest day of my life.
Captain Rex, Corporal Echo, Clone Force 99. You have all done a great service for the Republic. Thanks to your courage and effort, Republic shipyards will soon be up and running again.
You've got some medals coming your way.
Thank you, General. You coming? Not really our thing. Accolades.
Yeah, we're just in it for the thrill.
I agree, Firehawk.
You sure it's your thing? What do you mean? Your path is different. Like ours. If you ever feel like you don't fit in with them, well, find us. Those are some of the finest troopers I've ever fought alongside. Echo. You and I go way back. If that's where you feel your place is, then that's where you belong.
How about we get him a sandwich first? He does fit in with that arm. Nice. Well, that was a great episode.
Darth said so their story is done.
Maybe we'll see him again at the end of the season or something. Or maybe next, I don't know. I would think that'd probably be the end of their arc because it's a 4-episode arc? Man, we're already a quarter of the way through the season? Dang. Well, that was fast. We're already 4 episodes in. That's a 4-episode arc, so maybe there'll be some big
What's up, the Batman?
What's up, the Batman? Or the Batman, as it were. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, maybe there'll be some big to do at the end of the season where they bring him back for some big battle. Yeah, I think that they should just keep going with this. But it is the Clone Wars, so I don't know how long you can just keep going until you eventually have to come to an end. But, I mean, there's still stories I'm sure that could be told. I want to know, I want to see Yoda. I want to see where Yoda's at in all this. Because Yoda...
Man?
What's that? What? What'd you say?
Man?
Man?
You said Yoda.
Yoda Man? Yoda Man. like, what are you talking about? Anyways, I want to see Yoda because last we saw of Yoda in Clone Wars, he was finding out about Qui-Gon and about the afterlife and all that stuff. And so I'd like to know more about that and where he's at right now, what he's doing. But this is just typical Clone Wars stuff. Plus, I'm really hoping that somewhere in these next 8 episodes, we get that confirmation of Darth Revan. I feel like we're on the verge of something going on with Darth Revan. The way that they've been promoting Revan lately. I mean, he's gotten 2 different Black Series figures. He's they've got his lightsaber coming out later this year. All I can do is hope that they're going to do something with Revan and canonize. Well, they already kind of canonized Revan a little bit with the Rise of Skywalker, because if you get the visual dictionary for Rise of Skywalker, and this is kind of weird though, because all of the groups of battalions of Sith troopers, every battalion had its own Sith name because they were Sith troopers, right? And so there was like the Tenebrous Legion, and there's a Revan Legion, and there's like this legion and that legion. Like I think there might have been a Plagueis Legion because they were named after former Sith. But I don't understand why they would name one Revan if they're going to keep intact that Revan went back to the light side. That's my only concern with that. Because are you saying, I mean, you know, because I mean, like, it's like the Jedi naming something after a Sith, you know? Although, I guess the Jedi had the exact same thing happen in, well, I mean, they already had that happen because Anakin became Darth Vader, and then went back to Anakin. So I guess it'd be the same thing as them naming something Anakin, you know, Skywalker or whatever, but you know, the Anakin Legion or something like that, or the Vader Legion. I don't know. It's just kind of, well, it'd be like the Rebels naming something the Vader Legion, even though Vader wasn't good when he was there, you know. So like for them to name something Revan, the Revan Legion, just doesn't really make much sense to me, unless they're going to retcon his story. Which also doesn't make any sense because they just released a figure of his redemption figure. So I just feel like there's a lot of Revan. I get it that like we got the Jaina Solo figure, right? Who was, you know, the Legends figure. Man, it would be great if they made a Mara Jade Black Series figure. That would be fabulous. But they made Jaina Solo, but they only made the Jaina Solo figure because she was the fans' choice figure. And so that's why they made her. I'm just curious if they would make, like, why would they make a Revan figure that's a redemption Revan figure if they're not going to have him be redeemed? I don't know. But otherwise, I like this episode. What did you think of this episode, Tiff?
I thought it was actually really good. It got me guessing if the dude with the flathead screwdriver hand,
Echo?
if he was going to turn or not.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of being a little vague, and you're like, okay, because he kept grabbing his head, so it was like, was that his way of showing that, you know, I'm not in control,
Yeah.
or, you know, am I going to go against them? So it's
Yeah.
cool that even though he didn't end up staying with his friend, he went and joined the Bad Batch where he ended up fitting anyway, but at least he got a second chance because they saved him. So
Yeah.
I think it was kind of cool just to see kind of like the way the story went tonight, and it's interesting.
Yeah, that was... Sorry, I got a kernel. That's what I kept wondering was, is he going to turn? I was constantly wondering that because, like you said, he was holding his head, he was looking weird, and then at the one point, the spider guy said something about, I'm going to send a signal now, and as soon as he said that, it showed Echo again, like almost like he was receiving a signal, or something controlling him. But I was really glad that he didn't do that in the end, and that yeah, he went to the Bad Batch and he fit in there
He did.
because he was like a misfit now because he had the arm. And
Darth said, I think they're going to make a Mara Jade Black series. They already made the 3 3/4 inch, didn't they?
yeah, they've made a couple of 3 3/4 inch Mara Jades now. So they've made a 3 3/4 inch Darth Revan too, which is ridiculously expensive, especially for a 3 3/4 inch figure.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, guys. So I have a little window of time in my Star Wars collecting where it was about maybe 2008 till about what? Man, it was probably a good 5 years that I didn't collect.
I don't remember.
It's probably a good 5 years that I didn't collect. And in that time, they released so many figures and did so many different things. It was in the middle of Clone Wars and stuff, and just a ton of figures. And that Darth Revan was one. And all of the other Darths, all of the other Sith from back then, they released during that time. I've gotten a couple of them. I think I got Darth Malgus. I've got Darth Plagueis. I got a couple of those old figures, but some of those figures are ridiculously expensive now. Darth Revan's one. Darth Revan, you're lucky if you can find it for like $65, $70, something like that, for a 3 3/4 inch figure. Man, it's just hard to throw down that kind of money for such a figure. But Balbir, here on the channel, he was when he first became like really into Star Wars, a couple years ago.
2 or 3.
Yeah, he got really into Revan. He just really resonated with Revan, and so he was like kind of getting everything Revan that he possibly could, and in that he got one of those 3 3/4 Revans. I want to say that he spent about $70 or $75 for him.
For the little one?
For the little one, yeah, yep. And because I mean that's what it's going for. It was going for more at one point. Wookiee is over here sleeping. And he's looking like Snoopy because he's like doing this. He's going, like smiling in his sleep.
He's probably cheesing for a lady. He's like,
He looks so cute. But if I get up and show you guys, he's going to wake up. Aww.
Darth says, I really want them to do Darth Malgus and Bane. I just think they would make cool figures.
Oh, he woke up.
You made too much noise. He's using the pillow as a pillow.
You're looking at me, guys. Now I know that there's people on the internet looking at me.
Come sit by Daddy. Yeah, come sit by Daddy.
Oh, hey, wait. Dude,
You moved Dad.
you can't sit behind me.
Take your spot, Dad. Look at this. You should see how cute his face looks, though.
Wookie, you gotta move, buddy.
He's doing the shifty eye, like that.
Yeah, I know. Come on, dude.
Eyebrows.
Dude, you can't be behind me though. Come on. Come on, say hi to everybody. And then move. Move your butt. There you go. All right. And we're back.
Sit by Mama. Yeah. He's used to poop there.
Yeah, I want to see some more Ahsoka. I'm sure we'll see some more Ahsoka before the season's done. And some Yoda. See, Firehawk, I agree with you about the deleted scene with Revan in the Mortis arc. I would love to see them somehow work it back in somehow. I don't know how they do it, but I really hope that they do it. I hope that they somehow work that storyline back in, or give us Revan and confirm through that. Oh yeah, man! They've made Malgus and Bane figures. Like I said, they're just they're so expensive nowadays on the aftermarket. Who was it that I found? I think I found a Darth Bane. Was it Darth Bane that I found out in California? Darth Bane's the bald guy, right? I think. I got Darth Malgus because he's the Darth Vader looking one, but only half of his head is Darth Vader looking. It's like, right? And then there's I believe Darth Bane. He's got like a purple cape or whatever. And I found him. It's so crazy. I found him at an antique store out in Orange, California, that I just happened to walk into, and there was there was nothing in there but like high priced furniture. There's like a whole segment in downtown Orange, California. When I was in LA last year. Not last year, actually. Now it's been the year before. Of course, now he goes back and he's laying down just the same way. Oh, boy. Anyways, so a couple years ago when I was in LA, I was looking for stores and looking for, anything I could find. And so they had some stores, they had some stuff, these antique stores, they had old toys. But then I walked in this one and I almost walked right out because they had a main floor and then they had a basement. And the main floor had absolutely nothing. I mean, it was all just like high-priced furniture and like cabinets and beds and couches and stuff. And I walked all around and I'm just like, oh, this isn't the type of place that I normally would go. And then I saw that there were stairs. And I was so tired, but I was like, I'm going to go down these stairs. So I went down into this basement and I'm like looking all around, going back and forth and everything. And I found this little booth with this little cabinet that was all locked up. And I looked in there. And there I saw this Darth Bane. And they had, I want to say $30 marked on this Darth Bane. I had the guy come open it because I couldn't really tell by the tag. Guy comes down. He looks at it. Whatever. They also had a lightsaber next to him. It's not really his. It belongs to somebody else, but I needed a lightsaber for it, so I figured I'd get that. It was $25, I think, that they had, which is still pretty decent for that figure, loose, but it didn't have the lightsaber that actually comes with it, so I got another lightsaber, and so thought that I was going to have to pay for this. Got all the way up there, and they told me it was $2. Now, I don't know if they made a mistake, but I don't think I've ever reached for $2 quicker in my life. When the tag says 25, and I was like, are you sure? And they're like, yep, $2.
About $2.50.
I was like, all right. So I paid $2 for that. Yep. So all the Disney, I mean, we got all kinds of craziness going on in the world right now. So I haven't heard anything about filming stopping for any of our shows. And honestly, I hadn't heard anything about filming stopping on most of anything. If you guys have those stories, I'd be interested in those. But obviously the Disney parks both closed. Something's going on when the Disney parks close. But those are like large areas of people. I mean, you're talking amusement parks and stuff like that.
I think actually right now for Disney World, what would be smart for them is the fact that they're trying to get everything ready for the 50th anniversary of Disney this starting in 2021. And so they're working at Epcot trying to redo things and construction and getting things done. Well, they have to wait until the park is closed and no one's there to work on it. So it's taking a long time. If they're going to shut it down for 2-3 weeks, you might as well start, busting butt and getting some stuff done while people can't be in there anyway.
Oh, well, you know what? So
my call. But.
So I just followed up on
yeah, I know, Darth. I was very upset because it left on a hiatus, both that one and Nancy Drew, and then I was just like, what? And then all of a sudden they said, see you back on April 8th, and I'm like, seriously? So I'm a little frustrated about that, and I figured that's what it was, but
man. So I just followed up on what they were just saying there, on what Firehawk and the Batman was just saying. So I'm looking right here at Dark Horizons. It says Netflix, FX, CW shut down productions. So it says still, and it's got big picture from Stranger Things right there. So that means Stranger Things will get pushed back even further now.
Or is that just the picture of them being
No.
like, we can't?
Well, no, because if it's Netflix, that means Netflix
Oh.
is shutting it down. So it says still more shows and film productions. This is according to darkhorizons.com. It says still more shows and film productions are being suspended due to the coronavirus pandemic today, with almost all scripted efforts currently in production for FX, the CW, and streaming giant Netflix being closed off for the next 2 weeks at least. Netflix is shutting down all of its scripted productions in North America. More than 70 shows will be impacted, including the 4th season of Stranger Things. The shutdown commences Monday, March 16th, and will run through the end of the month. Production outside of North America, such as the 2nd season of The Witcher, are being assessed on a case-by-case basis. FX has shut down its shows currently in production, including the 3rd season of Atlanta, the 4th seasons of Fargo and Snowfall, and the new series based on the Last Man comic. Meanwhile, the CW has closed down The 100, Batwoman, The Flash, Supergirl, and Dynasty. Apple TV Plus has shut down all its active productions as well, including C, Servant, For All Mankind, and Mythic Quest. Also, Fox, ABC, and the CW, like CBS and NBC earlier this week, have scrapped their annual live fall TV upfront presentations. So not only can we not go anywhere, no new shows either. Are they trying to like bore everybody to
You
death?
know what? We have class starting next week for the 6 weeks, so that will.
Are we gonna have class?
Mhm.
I don't know. This is crazy.
The Batman says no Stranger Things. Darth Vader voice. No.
No.
Then Firehawk said so sad about Stranger Things as well. Love that show. Now we'll have to wait even longer.
U.S.
Darth-
Cinema's cutting
Darth says so no sports and no TV.
All right. U.S. Cinema's cutting capacity by 50%.
And then the Batman says there are no viruses here in Gotham City.
That's because they're scared of the Batman. Well, it's because Batman probably came up with an antidote already.
Did you
It's
see
got
the,
the bat,
did you
the
see,
bat bat anti-corona virus.
Did you see the video? Did you see the picture of Bane when he was like? He said that it all came from a thing. Don't go to any sports venues. He was wearing a mask. He had it right the whole time.
Right.
Sorry, Bane.
You got that anti-coronavirus bat spray on your utility belt. Man.
The funny thing is today at my meeting for work, every morning we have a morning meeting to go over everything that we need to for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And working in the medical field with caregivers going into clients' homes and stuff like that, there's certain people that are self-quarantining themselves because they're afraid of anything going back and forth, which we understand on both sides. But they were talking about the toilet paper thing again, and so I go to mention the 3 seashells, crickets, around a table of 7 people my age or older. So I then explained it, people started laughing, and my boss goes, I might have to watch that this weekend when I'm home. So I went to my office, pulled up a poster of Demolition Man, threw it in an email, and I'm like, this is who's in it. I said, oh, and a young Sandra Bullock. And so and explained it, and he sent it back, and he goes, thanks, T. I'm totally going to have to check this out this weekend. So I'm like, it's an oldie but a goodie, but you need to watch it, and then tell me what you think.
Demolition Man is a classic.
Mm-hmm.
When in doubt for toilet paper, use the 3 seashells or
That
just
was
swear
the thing.
or just swear a lot.
That was the thing was that people were laughing at is because they said, well, what is the 3 seashells about? I'm like, they never tell you. That's why it's funny.
Don't know.
Or you go to the wall and you swear and they get paper anyway.
Well, it'll be interesting also to see if.
Oh, I see what Darth Tasty said.
No, that was.
So Demolition Man, that actually is on tonight. I'm recording it right now because if you guys posted the 3 seashells, I need to see it again.
Yeah, what's funny about that is a couple years ago, my friend Jordan was talking to me, and I started quoting some stuff from Demolition Man, and he had never seen Demolition Man, and so I turned him on to it. I told him, I said, you got to see it. He thought it was cool, so he downloaded it. He's got Plex, and so he downloaded it and was watching it on Plex. And he comes in the next day and he goes, "Oh, thanks so much for telling me about that. It's awesome. I really liked it." He said, "But there's one thing I got to correct you on." He says, "You said that all restaurants were Taco
Fancy
Bell.
restaurants.
All restaurants were Taco Bell in the future." He says, they're Pizza Hut. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're Taco Bell. And he goes, no, dude, I just watched it last night. They're Pizza Hut. I'm like, dude, I've been watching that movie since I was a kid. I'm like, trust me, they're Taco Bell. I can actually see the logo and everything right now. Like, dude, they're Taco Bell. And he's arguing with me, and like he's just like adamant about it. I'm like, dude, you can't argue with me about this. It's Taco Bell. I've known this my entire life. It is definitely Taco Bell. We go round and round and round and round. And he's like looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm thinking that Jordan has absolutely lost it. Because if Jordan, and I'm thinking like, this guy's got to be like so stupid for having just watched it last night. And he can't remember that it's Taco Bell. It's obviously Taco Bell. So finally I get frustrated enough, I'm going to prove him wrong, right? And so I pull it up online. Sure enough, apparently the foreign prints of the movie, when they made the movie, they did not secure the rights worldwide for Taco Bell in that movie.
Say worldwide, all I can think of is
Step Brothers? Yeah. But apparently they did not secure the rights worldwide to put Taco Bell in it. So there are some foreign prints of the movie that even though they're in English, which is the one that he happened to download, that all restaurants are now Pizza Huts. Which is interesting because Ryan brought up, Darth Tasty brought up the fact that now most, because they're all owned by Pepsi, but KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Huts are now all owned by Pepsi. But I don't think they were back then. And so it's an interesting thing. But yeah, so I was like, well, I guess we're both right. But I had never ever seen
or
heard of the Pizza Hut version of that. So a little bit.
Well, then plus we were joking too because I was talking, and that's another reason my boss wanted to watch it too because I said, or we can high five like they do in the movie too, which is like.
That's all you can do now. So dumb. So dumb.
The Batman got what I was saying. He's like, prestige worldwide.
Prestige worldwide. Why?
B&H.
Research, development, putting the time in. Boats and hoes. Boats and hoes. That's funny. That's a funny movie right there. That's another funny movie. I think we just became best friends.
Yep.
I got a
put something on my drum kit.
Yeah, I got a drum kit in the other room. Where's Landon?
Why are you so sweaty? Why are you breathing so hard?
Nothing. I was watching Cops.
I'm watching Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
I was watching Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Oh, it got me all like verklempt and stuff. I was watching Star Wars. Oh my god.
The Batman. Did we just become best friends?
Yep. We need more room for our.
Oh my gosh, when I got him a loft bed so he can put his desk and his computer underneath with a computer chair, because he has got the smallest room in the house. So by doing that and putting his bed up top, and he had, a lot more space, which he doesn't have much of. And because of watching that movie, once we put it all together, put his desk underneath, it gave him so much space. He goes, I have so much more room for activities. So.
I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it. Those guys are great. They're a great pair for sure.
Darth says the bunk bed are my favorite. So much room for activities.
Oh man.
And then the Batman just says, "You want to punch me, don't you?" And Batman goes, "Yes."
Oh, it's so funny. Where they go sleepwalking through the house. Oh my gosh.
Batman says I haven't eaten a single carb in 10 years.
I love when they start singing Sweet Child of Mine in the car. Oh my gosh, the sister-in-law. Holy cow. In the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in that movie. Oh my goodness. But it's a funny movie though. It is so funny.
Just like Idiocracy.
I love me some Idiocracy. If you guys have seen the new, so we just put it up on the Patreon. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you've seen it. I'll put it on the main channel starting next week. But we just did our trailer, or not our trailer. It's the actual film reaction video to the Blood Crystal, which is the Star Wars fan film that we got to go and be on the set of, and visit with Dark Hoffman, the guy who wrote and directed the movie, and Gary Trinkline, who produced the movie. But it's funny because I just had a brain fart. Just totally had a brain
I
fart.
know, because the cuteness just took you out.
What were we talking about right before that?
You said about Dark Hoffman and the Blood Crystal, and you're gonna put it online next week, starting next week. To
Yeah, it was something about that movie though. Oh, you said Idiocracy. So Dark Hoffman has worked on like a
so I
ton,
love that movie, Brondo.
a ton of movies. He worked on Smallville actually, on the series finale of Smallville, having
Movie
stuff to do with dark
300,
side
he's been on
stuff.
a bunch of stuff.
Movie 300, Benjamin Button, Thor, a couple of the X-Men movies, I think. He worked on, but he worked on Idiocracy, and I'll never forget that
Darth
because
said Dark did a great job.
yeah, it's a good fan film. I think like anything, nothing's perfect, but it's a good fan film, and I really enjoy
I
it.
can't wait to see the next two parts.
Cannot wait for the next two parts. I'm looking forward to it for sure. I'm excited, and looking forward to seeing how the story progresses. I did see a thing today. I was reading a little bit more on it because my questions were things like how can a Sith and a Jedi be around and stuff, but like they explained it off as like there's small pockets of other people, throughout the galaxy. The only question I have is it like if that Sith isn't connected to Darth Sidious or the Emperor, then why does he have stormtroopers with him and stuff?
Well, he was talking to a holocron, so there's got to be something up.
Mm-hmm. But that's my only question is if he's not part of the Empire, then why does he have stormtroopers?
Because he's a rogue one.
He's a rogue one. I like it. Well,
Batman says, "Have you seen Hulk versus Superman Fight Part 4 fan-made film on YouTube? Wow, it's great. You gotta react to it. It has millions of views."
yeah, I have seen that. You're talking about the Hulk, like the Christopher Reeve Superman and Hulk from just the Hulk movie that had what is that? Eric
Edward
Bana?
Norton?
No, it's Eric Bana. The big green one, the big huge green.
Firehawk said, "Love it." Batman says, "Yeah."
Yeah, that was a good fan film actually. If you haven't seen that, we'll have to react to that because that's a good fan film. They did a really good job with that, for sure. There's a lot.
Batman says Lou Ferrigno Hulk.
It's Lou Ferrigno Hulk versus Superman?
Why'd your voice get so high?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm like Landon. Landon the other day, he said something to me, and he sounded like, oh, we were watching, we were rewatching old Poindexter Lounge videos, and from when Batman vs Superman came out, and we were doing toy reviews, and so Landon and I did a couple of toy reviews. We did an R2-D2 review when I got my electronic R2-D2, and then we did a review of like a bunch of different Batman versus Superman toys, and his voice was like so much higher back then. It's so funny. He looked so cute. He's so tiny, and he's all when it was like he was giving his screen name, it'd be like, "My name's Enosh, aka Enosh Fett," and he's like, "And I'm Landon, aka Landon Calrissian." And then he's like, "Hey, look at this toy!" So I've been teasing him all week. I don't know that I've seen a Lou Ferrigno one though. I saw one that had Superman, Christopher Reeve Superman versus the Hulk.
He says Part 4 you may have seen. Part 3, which is nowhere near as good.
Oh, well, I might have to look that up then. Be something fresh and new for me, I guess. Have you guys ever seen the is it called Bat Sun Productions? They do these superhero beatdown. They do these superhero beatdown videos where, I mean, as far as that goes, they're top notch. I mean, they get actors and actresses, actors and actresses to portray different things. They've got Batman versus Darth Vader, which on the surface sounds like it would be a no-brainer that Darth Vader would
It
win.
says, yeah, I've seen that Bat in the Sun. That's the YouTube name.
Yeah.
The last video was great. Did he fly him up towards space in your video? This video did part 4.
Yeah, he did. Yep. But they've done a bunch of those. They've done Iron Man versus Optimus Prime, which was good. They did Batman versus Darth Vader, and then Superman comes in at the end. They've done one of the best ones was Wolverine versus Wonder Woman. That was a really good one. They did Spider-Man versus who was it? The Spider-Man versus Deadpool? No, it was Deadpool. Oh, Spider-Man versus Darth Maul.
He's got a little zombie-ish in his eyes.
Okay, we're gonna try to get the shot again.
Try not to shake her. Because that's what we did last time. You made too much now. Caleb just said Lisa back. Random Jar Jar noises.
We just put that live for like 10 hours. That shot right there.
He uses the pillow like a pillow. Batman says, I'm trying to super chat you, but my phone is playing up at the moment.
All right, man. That's all good. Whenever you get it together, we'll be okay. We appreciate it though, for sure.
Darth says you have millions of years. I love my cats, but I really still want a dog.
I am. Whoops.
Aw, you're so cute.
I am a dog guy. I just always have been a dog guy.
Oh, look at the belly.
Oh my goodness.
Look at the cuteness in the belly.
Oh my god, you guys gotta see this. This is ridiculous.
Oh, never mind.
She rolled over. So crazy.
You want to show the belly, Harley? You show your belly? Oh, she's like, Dad, look, I'm being cute.
He's gonna lay there. He's super cute.
Daddy, I'm a handsome boy.
They're so good sometimes.
We should just do voices for them and do like I am like hear Tatum speak videos.
Like Tatum on
Wookiee and
TikTok?
Harley speak. Yeah.
yes.
Darth says I'm not allowed to have a dog where I live.
Aww.
Well, Darth said I meant to say millions of views. Caleb says Poindexter Lounge ambiance, 10-hour live stream of your living room with TV, white noise, and your dog sleeping. Quality content.
Exactly, right?
There's the belly.
There it is. There it is.
And it feels like a chamois. It's so soft.
10 hours of that.
And actually, when she sleeps on her back like that, and she's really like knocked out, she actually snores. Look, Isaac got it on video of her snoring.
I feel wrong.
Because you're showing her belly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so cute and pink.
It's a pink belly.
Oh boy. Okay.
She got spots on her belly, and he's got a speckled schmeckle.
Sure.
Darth said Jedi dog.
Jedi dogs. Yeah, I've been allergic to dogs and cats my whole life, but that's why we got a couple Australian Shepherds.
Jeff Glotfelty just said, "Hey guys, what's up?"
What's going on, Jeff? Welcome. Welcome in. So we were just talking about this this episode, and so we were talking about the dogs. We're talking about
Showing the dog sleeping.
superhero beatdowns. We're talking about a bunch of stuff, just having fun. We're talking about all of the shows. You alright, buddy? Okay.
Thank you for not doing that on the couch.
Thank you. So we're talking about like all the CW shows have been shut down production for 2
Did he
weeks.
barf?
No, he looked like he was going to, but he didn't. All CW shows have been shut down for production for 2 weeks. A lot of the shows in general have been shut down for production for two weeks. There's movies getting pushed back. There's just Netflix has shut down all their stuff. So that's kind of, we're just talking about a bunch of different things. This week has been
The
a
world's
crazy
on
week.
pause right now.
Yeah, this has been a crazy week for me, given the fact that I work at a church and trying to figure out what we're gonna do.
Jeff says I'm about 3 episodes behind, but I'm watching.
You're watching Clone Wars. Yeah, so tonight's episode was really good. Probably my favorite episode so far of the year, I would say.
I'm obsessed with Nancy Drew.
Okay.
Just random. If he can say Misa back as a random Jar Jar noise, I can just say a random thought.
Random thought. Random thought.
Random thoughts was fantastic.
But this is probably
My pimples because they told me to.
this is my favorite episode so far of the season.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the first episode was kind of it was just there. Second episode kind of started something, and
Caleb just says, I'm so pissed. A Quiet Place Part 2 got pushed back, and I had just bought tickets for the double feature on the 18th. Firehawk just put 1 letter.
man, I'm telling you, it's crazy right now. I mean, both Disney parks are shut down. The NCAA tournament is being played to empty stadiums.
We're going to be having church in an empty church.
I know, we're having church in an empty building and
Why can't
live
we
streaming
just-
it.
Why can't we just live stream it from our living room where we have pajamas on the bottom and dress shirts on the top?
We're a
Or you
suit
can be
jacket.
full on Porky Pig in it, no one will know. Just saying.
Because then you're one camera angle mistake away from.
Yeah. But you're comfortable.
That's true. But they wouldn't.
God
be
says
comfortable.
make a joyful noise. I was being joyful.
That was a noise. But yeah, but the NCAA, like I said, the NCAA tournament is being played to an
Caleb's
empty crowd.
church has suspended services till April.
Wow. Well, we semi-canceled this week because we do 2 services and we do anywhere between 500 to 700 people per service. And so the state of Michigan, they've mandated that you can't have over 250 people right now. So there's that. And so because of that, we've agreed to cooperate with that. But in cooperating with that, we're going to live stream. So we're not going to turn people away if they actually show up on Sunday. We did cancel it. We told them not to
So
come.
we're not doing night service.
We're not doing night service. We told everybody not to come. But if people come, we're going to let them in. But like I'm over like all of the, obviously I do the music and stuff. But on top of that, I also like oversee all of our hospitality and greeters. So I already told all my greeters and stuff not to shake hands or anything like that unless people extend that and they felt comfortable with it. But now we're not going to have any of the greeters there, none of the ushers there. We will have security people there, but for those who are in the building and stuff. But that's it. And so so some of the other pastors and the teachers and stuff who would normally be doing Sunday school stuff and everything, they're going to come down and man the doors. So if anybody does come in,
The Batman says Ben Affleck just started dating Ana de Armas, who was the hologram in the new Blade Runner, and she will star in the new Bond film No Time to Die. She looks so similar to the main actress in Rogue One. Caleb says she was also in Knives Out as the main actress. So with all these shows going on hiatus because of the virus and not being able to do stuff, we can catch up on a lot of shows that are still already on Netflix and movies and shows that we've been wanting to watch.
That's true.
So that'll be a good thing. Catch up on things on the DVR, shows we've been behind on.
So I don't know what movies you all have at home, but so we just started this, and we're going to do this probably with a few different movies and a few different things, but we're going to have some movie watch parties where we just watch movies together. One of the things.
Just said something. Sorry.
One of the things that I would like to do is because we just started this new series here on the channel called Superman, What We Love About the Man of Steel, and every week we're going to talk about something about the Man of Steel. So I'd like for us to maybe watch together some of the Superman movies, the old Christopher Reeve Superman movies, some of that stuff together and talk about those things. And then just kind of maybe do a movie of choice, right? And if everybody has it on DVD or whatever version or whatever, we can watch it online, whatever. We'll have to figure all that out as far as logistics, because I know everybody doesn't have access to the same movies, but we can definitely figure it out.
Jordan says, my animation school decided to shut down for 5 weeks starting Monday. I was not surprised, but it still sucks since it was almost the end of my second trimester, and that's why I laughed, because he said trimester instead of semester.
There's a lot of people whose school's being shut down, and I know people oh man, so this is a bad thing. There's a kid in our church who has been going for 4 years to make nationals or whatever for swimming. He made it this year. They canceled it.
Isaac can't make varsity for baseball for his senior year because of this.
Well, it depends on, they're just shutting down for a couple of weeks. They could still come back and play baseball, but we don't know yet.
The Batman said Liam Hemsworth just started being seen in public with his new 22-year-old Calvin Klein model girlfriend, so he's finally moved on from Miley Cyrus. Anyways, yeah. Caleb says...
Yeah, you know what? Miley Cyrus, do you understand the infatuation that everybody had with Miley Cyrus?
I liked her when she was on that show with...
Hannah Montana?
Because my kids watched it, but after she went crazy and...
I liked her in that episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah, she was good.
She was good in Black Mirror, but I just have never understood. Like when people tell me that they think like that Miley Cyrus is hot, I kind of like go.
You have a different.
I guess I have a different taste on that.
that.
Somebody did tell me this week that I looked a little bit like new Billy Ray Cyrus.
Caleb says, I'm just finished rewatching War Games. My gosh, my favorite 80s movie. Darth says, at least not like 1990 where we just have regular TV.
You just finished War Games? I just watched War Games the other night because it's on YouTube for free, just with commercials.
Darth said, I think the digital copy of Rise of Skywalker comes out next week.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff says, just bought the Pirates of the Caribbean 5 movie set on Blu-ray. And then he also...
Who said that?
Jeff. And he also said earlier, who's your favorite Star Wars character, good and bad? Hold on to that thought, though.
Okay. Holding on to that thought.
Jordan says, I used to say sweet mother of Hannah Montana back in middle school. Caleb says, I think it was nostalgia. She's really come a long way from that twerking at the MTV Awards. She's not crazy no more.
I'm not crazy anymore.
Jordan Farrell says, Billy Ray Cyrus's stunt double has been Enosh the whole time, exposed. And then the Batman said, did you know the couple in Stranger Things are dating in real life? Which one?
Which one, yeah.
Hopper and what's-her-face? Or Billy Bobby
What's the
Brown?
daughter? Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown, and then, well, now we've got Dustin and, what's her name? His girlfriend. But as far as, so, Pirates of the Caribbean, what do you guys think of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies? So they're looking to reboot it, and what's his name is not going to be in it. Johnny Depp is not going to be in it now. So I'll be honest with you. When I saw the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, I loved it. I absolutely loved the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Just thought it was fabulous, was fantastic. Couldn't wait till part 2. Part 2 came out. I hated it. I have hated every Pirates movie since the first one. And when the second one came out and I didn't like it, like, I just didn't like it. And I was kind of, I didn't make a big deal about it, but I just didn't like it. I had friends who got, like, angry at me because I didn't like it. There was a couple that we used to hang out with that just, like, got mad at me because I didn't like it. And it just, I don't know. Does anybody, does everybody just love them? Or, like, have you just tolerated them? Because I feel like the first one set up things, and I was watching a video this last week that was talking about that, and just talking about that, like, Jack Sparrow was set up to be this pirate, this like amazing pirate that everybody feared, and you know what I mean, and was like, this amazing guy. By the end, he was kind of a joke.
I love when they got to play his dad.
Yeah, but by the end he was kind of a joke, and like he was, and like everything that he did, honestly, like at the beginning, like he was, you know, he was a pirate, and like he was a serious pirate, you know, and like everybody feared him across the seven seas, and you know, and he won battles and victories. By the end, it seemed like he fumbled his way through everything, and everything was by mistake. If he got anywhere, it was by mistake.
Well, some of those last ones, it was more like he was a BS artist.
Yeah, it didn't seem like he was like, and they got totally away from the fact that he was
But that was his shtick, though.
the scourge of the seven seas. I don't know. As far as my favorite characters in Star Wars, good and bad.
I agree, the Batman.
What did Batman say?
Amber Heard, she was married to him for a short period of time, says disgusted me lying about Johnny Depp beating her up and getting him canceled from Pirates of the Caribbean in Hollywood, basically.
I've heard a little bit about that story, but I
rom-com?
haven't followed the story. What's that?
What is the rom-com?
I've heard a little bit about that story, but and you know just enough, but I haven't really
I
heard
know.
enough
That's
to.
why they're not together anymore, because she started that stuff and messed things over for him.
As far as my favorite Star Wars characters, good and bad, if I have a
I
favorite,
like the Pirates movies, but I'm also a Disney chick.
you like all of them?
I'm not saying that all of them are like, oh my gosh, yes, but yeah, because of the Disney.
What's your
backing.
least favorite Pirates movie?
I have seen, they all run together for me, because it's all one big story to me. Like, I can tell you the entire storyline. I don't know where it's cut up, because I actually like Barbossa, because I like the guy who plays him. I like how they've intermingled him into the Pirates of the Caribbean ride in Disney World, which I think is kind of cool, because when you go through it, it's been the same since I've been a kid, but when you've got him, you know, in these couple little spots, it's like, that's pretty cool. I like that. It's kind of like a little update with my childhood, you know.
Yeah.
But I love the parts with Will. I love the storyline on how they had to kind of switch it because of the sacrifice that he made, and so I like the way that they've interwoven them, and I like when he's serious and kick butt, but I also like when he's silly and funny and savvy.
What's your favorite Pirates movie?
Blackbeard. Or the Curse of the Black Pearl.
Is that which one's that? Here's my problem. When you see the first one, it sets them all up, brings them all together, they're all friends. When the second one starts, they hate each other. I didn't understand that.
I'm not crazy, because Darth Tasty just said the one with Blackbeard wasn't that bad. I forget which one it is, so that's...
Well, I kind of gave up on them a little bit, and like I'd watch them, but I didn't really pay
Caleb
much
said
attention.
Pirates 1 through 3 were great, Pirates 4 was terrible, and Pirates 5 was good.
So nobody else had a problem with 2? That like when 2 starts, everybody's ticked off at everybody? Like nobody likes anybody anymore? Like that was what, like all of what part 1 was about, was bringing them together. And then in part 2, without any description at all, they just hate each other, and like
Oh, that's cool.
Jack Sparrow is willing to like let people die and stuff.
Darth Tasty just said my aunt's boyfriend, who lives in Canada, has actually been his stunt double a couple of times. He looks exactly like him.
Wow, that's cool. That is cool.
Batman says, as a franchise, Pirates are awesome.
As a franchise, I will say that it's a great franchise. I just, I don't know.
Darth Tasty said, did anybody else grow up eating the Monte Cristo sandwiches at the Pirates of the Caribbean restaurant? That was like a family tradition for us at Disneyland when I was a kid. Jordan says his favorite was On Stranger Tides. Caleb says 2 was weird, but it was still fun. That's how I feel.
Okay.
Batman says, yeah, 2 went strange. Darth says the first one is definitely my favorite, and the Blackbeard isn't bad, but besides that, I gotta say, I really don't care for the other. And that was Darth.
So, my favorite Star Wars characters, if I have to nail that down, it's hard for me. If I had to go with one, I'm going to say Luke Skywalker. But it's a real close between Luke and Han. I grew up as a Luke Skywalker kid, loving Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker was my hero.
The one with Blackbeard was On Stranger Tides.
Oh, but the older that I got, I really had an appreciation for Han Solo. The older I got. And I don't know why it is, but it just... but growing up, I was a Luke kid all the way because Luke was a Jedi. He was like everything that I wanted to be. He was young. He was cool. Whatever. So if you put me in a corner, I'm gonna say Luke. Bad guy. I don't think that there is a better bad guy in the whole series in anything ever. Well, I'm going to go with what's in the movies and say Darth Vader because I think Darth Vader is the epitome of what a bad guy is. I think that in some ways George Lucas messed up the legacy of Darth Vader a little bit by showing us Darth Vader as a 10-year-old. If they would have started with Darth Vader as in episode 2, I think we would have maintained that. I think some of the mystique of Darth Vader and the essence of Darth Vader went away when we heard Darth Vader going, "Wee!" and
Spinning, that's a neat trick.
Spinning, that's a neat trick. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Oops. Oh, you're in big doo-doo now. Like, whatever. I don't know. But Darth Vader for sure.
Darth wasn't allowed to be a kid.
No, if I have to pick a second one though, I like not necessarily the Clone Wars version. I like the Timothy Zahn written version of Grand Admiral Thrawn, as he's written in the books. I mean, because I put his own voice in there, for me.
Well, plus with the Salamiri, just like on the
Yeah,
shoulder. And...
yeah, stuff. Because I don't know if because I like him on Rebels, but I don't know if I like that voice for him so much. But man, Grand Admiral Thrawn is awesome. He's pretty kick butt. I really dig Grand Admiral Thrawn. How about you, Ted?
Darth said I was definitely a Luke kid as well and grew to appreciate Vader. I don't think I understood as a child of the trilogy was kind of actually about him.
Yeah. Tiff, who are your favorite characters from Star Wars?
Leia, because of who she is, who she became, and what she did throughout the movies. But I'm also a big fan of Mara Jade and Ahsoka. Because the chicks. But if I had a guy that I would choose, mine actually is Han. Because I loved him from, the Indiana Jones movies and stuff, so to have him kind of be like a space Indiana Jones, I kind of like that. So.
What about bad guy?
Bad guy? I really like Thrawn. He's one of my favorites from the books, and I still think Benicio del Toro would have made a kick-butt live version of him. But I also, more so not even in the movies, but in like Rebels actually even, I kind of like Darth Maul.
Really?
I don't know if it's just the look of him.
Darth Maul's got probably one of the best looks ever.
He had more. I like him for the looks, but he had layers that we got to see a little more of in Rebels. And even more so in, Clone Wars, especially when he brought in, like, Savage Opress and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I just kind of like...
Jeff says, I've always loved Bib Fortuna.
It's just fun to say, Bib Fortuna.
I always thought that was fun to say as a kid, Bib Fortuna. Do you know the story of what happened to Bib Fortuna, Jeff?
When he explains it, he's going to say Bib Fortuna like 20 times.
The story of Bib Fortuna and how he ended up in canon in the comics is insane. And I won't recount it if you don't know it, but you brought up Bib Fortuna. I can't believe what happened to Bib Fortuna in the comic books. Jeff said no. All right. Dude, there's an actual video on this. You can look it up, the history of Bib Fortuna, what happened to Bib Fortuna after Return of the Jedi. So here's the whole thing in a nutshell. But it's a pretty big nut. So apparently, Luke had already talked to Bib Fortuna before we see them together in Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. Luke was trying to get to Jabba through Bib Fortuna. But Bib Fortuna had his own plans of overthrowing Jabba by using the Bomar monks in the palace, because that palace, was...
Well, you're explaining Bib Fortuna. I'm going to get some socks.
Okay, awesome. So, the Bomar monks were the monks that was their palace that Jabba had taken over, and they lived peacefully next to each other, because the Bomar monks didn't really care for physical things. And so that's why they had evolved beyond physical bodies even, where once they got to a certain place, they would remove their brains and put them in those little glass jars, and they had those spider-like bodies, you know, that walked through the palace. So Bib Fortuna was actually working with the Bomar monks that he was going to overthrow Jabba and have them clean everybody out, and that he would take over all of Jabba's dealings. So when Luke came in and was going to overthrow Jabba, he was trying to work with Bib Fortuna on it, but Bib Fortuna turned him down and said, no, I don't want to work with you on this because I've got my own plan for overthrowing Jabba. So he wasn't very smart. He decided not to work with Luke. So when Luke came in, that's why him and Bib Fortuna have that exchange, because Luke goes right for Bib Fortuna, and they have that talk, but then Luke uses a Jedi mind trick and all that stuff on him. So here's where it gets really interesting. Apparently, no matter what had happened on the sail barge that day, if everybody had died and Luke had gotten put in the Sarlacc pit along with everybody else would have still died, because Bib Fortuna stayed behind. He was not on the sail barge that day. He stayed at the palace, but he poisoned all the food and all of the drinks and everything, apparently, or at least some of them or whatever. He poisoned everything, on board the sail barge that day. So all the food that they ate, all the drinks that they had were poisoned, and everybody would have died anyways. And that was Bib Fortuna's plan, and then he stayed behind at the palace to claim what was rightfully his, right? What he felt was rightfully his, which was Jabba's kingdom, basically. So Luke, obviously, and Han and all them, they get involved. Everything happens at the Sarlacc pit. The sail barge gets blown up. Princess Leia kills Jabba, but Jabba would have died anyways. And so all that stuff goes down. Well, here's the thing. In the comic, Bib Fortuna is sitting on Jabba's throne, or in the throne room or whatever, and he's like talking about how he's now going to be in charge and blah, blah, blah. All the Bomar monks come for him. Both the ones in the little glass jars with their brains in the glass jars, and the ones that are still physical people, right? And so they come for him, they overthrow him, they take him, they cut his brain out, and they put him into the glass jar. They put his consciousness, his brain, into the little glass jar, so he's got the spider body. And he goes like that for about 6 months, until he reaches out to another Twi'lek, who I cannot remember his name right now. He reaches out to this other Twi'lek and tells him, says, hey, I've got the secrets of how you can take over Jabba's kingdom. And the guy's like, what? And he's like, it's me, it's Bib Fortuna, this is where I'm at, this is what's going on. Come to the palace here, and I'll show you how to take over the whole thing. So the guy comes, he's another Twi'lek, just like Bib Fortuna was, comes, Bib Fortuna ends up double-crossing the guy, then takes him, because by this time he's gotten some Bomar monks on his side, I guess, in those last few months, gets some other Twi'leks to go ahead and take this Twi'lek's brain out of him and put it into a glass jar into the spider body, and take Bib Fortuna's brain and put it back into this guy's head, so that Bib Fortuna can live on as this other dude in this other guy's body. And that is the last we saw of Bib Fortuna. Crazy story. I saw this thing online, I read it, and I was like, it was insane. I would have never guessed. that that is how Bib Fortuna's story ended. I always assumed that Bib Fortuna died on the sail barge along with everybody else, but apparently not.
Okay.
Apparently not. Look who's in here. It's.
Hello.
We can't see you. There, we can see you now. There we go. So Landon, they were telling me earlier that I look like AJ Styles.
You do.
Caleb said, what?
The
That was your story?
Oh, Caleb said what? Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Mark Moran says you guys should give away the opportunity to come join you guys on the couch when you get to 10,000 subscribers.
Well, that would be fun.
Darth Tasty said I like the way you think, but I would be super expensive.
Jeff says, now I love him even more, right? Because, like, he's not an idiot. That's the thing, is, like, every time I've ever watched Bib Fortuna since I was a kid, I always thought, oh, this guy's an idiot. You know, he's, you know, he doesn't do anything really important except for kind of get, you know, tossed around and...
Mark says, tell me about it. I'm in Hawaii.
Mark, how about you win and we get to come see you?
Come sit on your couch or beach or whatever.
Oh, that'd be fun. Aw, thanks so much, Batman. Thank you so much, man. You rock. You're awesome. You are fantastic.
Regards from everybody at Wayne Enterprises.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Keep up the good work you're doing there at Wayne Enterprises. I appreciate it. You keep holding it down up there. No, you rock, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's like I said, the whole Bib Fortuna thing. I always thought that he was like a worthless character, and then I read that, and that's the canon story of what happened to Bib Fortuna. I was in shock.
Darth said, "I'm jealous. I love Hawaii," but he spelled it jellious.
Jealous?
He's peanut butter. He's peanut butter and jealous.
I'm peanut butter and jealous. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Some of the stuff that they've got going on in the Star Wars books. They just had I don't know how I feel about this. You know, Darth Tasty Ryan, he's got the page on Facebook #I Love Star Wars, which is a great page. If you're a Star Wars fan at all, you should go find that page on Facebook #I Love Star Wars and join up today. But you know, Darth Tasty posted something about in the comic books, and I haven't read this. I haven't read the latest issue, where apparently Princess Leia gets frozen in carbonite.
Yeah, you were saying that.
I don't know if I like that. Han getting frozen in carbonite was a special thing.
Unless she went and did like the Peter Griffin, where he was like space farts when they put her under.
But you know, Han getting frozen in carbonite was a special thing. You know, like it was bad enough seeing it in The Mandalorian.
I think he saw it that way.
What's that?
I don't think he saw it that way. He had a bad feeling about it.
Well, no, that was the whole point. Was like they didn't even know if it was going to work. Yeah, I know he had a bad feeling about it, but like they didn't even know if it was going to work. You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden, like when we get to The Mandalorian, all of a sudden, like the Mandalorian's just got like a whole ship full of frozen people.
He's like outfits. Like, which one am I wearing today?
Which frozen guy am I going to look at today?
Aww.
What's that? Oh, Mark, you're awesome, man. Thank you, Mark. Contributing for the haircut fund. That's hilarious. That's awesome. Thank you, Mark. You're awesome, bro. Thank you so much, man. We'll see.
Jeff says I also like General Grievous.
General Grievous has got a crazy story too.
I love the way that he like can swing all 4 lightsabers at once. That's always fun.
Yeah, I gotta read back up on General Grievous. It's been a while since I read General Grievous's story, but General Grievous had a crazy story because he went from being like an alien, like a lizard kind of guy to being what he was, and then slowly taking over. And what did I just read? They took something from somebody else and put it in him.
Well, I thought that it was, isn't it like his lungs were, like, that's why he was breathing like that, because it, like, his damage, he ended up.
That was something else. I just read something this last week or so about General Grievous. I can't remember what I read about him, where they took something out of somebody else and they put it in him, Dooku.
Mark says Grievous needs to sell some of these lightsabers on eBay.
That's what I read. So apparently Count Dooku, you know Sifo Dyas. Sifo Dyas is mentioned in Attack of the Clones as being the Jedi Master who supposedly ordered the clones to be made, right? So they just changed that story because to this point we had always thought that kind of like Sidious had posed as Sifo Dyas, because Sifo Dyas was a Jedi Master, but he kind of disappeared around the time of the Phantom Menace, apparently. So they said that what happened was he was working with Count Dooku, and Sifo Dyas had some major problems with the Jedi Order. Sifo Dyas saw the coming war and actually did order the clones to be made. And then afterwards, Palpatine had him killed or something like that. And Palpatine kept him. He had Dooku kill Sifo Dyas. That was like Dooku's thing that he had to prove his allegiance to the Sith, to become a Sith, was to kill Sifo Dyas, because Sifo Dyas was like his his student, his Padawan or whatever at one point. So he killed Sifo-Dyas and froze him, not in carbonite, I guess, but actually froze him, like kept him on ice. And because he was strong in the Force and because they figured that they could use him later on. Apparently, when General Grievous went through all the stuff that General Grievous went through, all the augmentations and everything to go from being a living person to the kind of the... General Grievous was supposed to be like a precursor to Darth Vader. But apparently, Dooku unfroze Sifo-Dyas and gave Grievous a blood transfusion of Sifo-Dyas' blood that he thought that because it had the midichlorians in it, that it might give General Grievous Force abilities because of the amount of midichlorians in Sifo-Dyas' blood. But it didn't, and that was the thing. Like when General Grievous gives the line that he is trained in the Jedi arts or whatever, it's because Dooku was trying to train him in the Jedi arts, and obviously he was just going to be cool anyways because he could wield 4 lightsabers at a time, and that's kind of always hard to deal with. But beyond that, it was the fact that he actually injected Sifo-Dyas' blood into Grievous in hopes of him becoming Force sensitive, but it didn't work.
Jordan says Enosh is like the dude bro version of a hype man or a guy in a pitch meeting. And Mark said Enosh is a deep fountain of various canons from Star Wars, Superman, etc. If he used that depth of knowledge for something evil, we'd all be in trouble. That's what it was. Jeff said Obi-Wan damaged Grievous's lungs with the Force. Caleb says, so do you know all those glove box napkins everyone hoards from restaurants for no reason? With toilet paper being bought in bulk, it's those napkins time to shine.
That's funny. I've also seen people. Apparently, you can get a dual fixture where you can put like one of the sprayer things from your sink, and they connect it down by your toilet, so the water goes to your toilet, and also you have a sprayer if you need it.
I've seen that.
Little makeshift bidet, as it were. Yeah, what's funny about that is like at the beginning of
Mark says, I've been collecting tree leaves and stacking them in the bathroom just in case.
Right? Well, what's funny is like, you got a shower right there. I mean, if you really needed it, you could probably hop in over there.
Darth said I did that once at my bathroom at work a couple of times and clogged the toilet, got in trouble almost.
Yeah, because napkins don't go down the toilet same way. Well, you know what it's time for? It's time for the wet wipes. Wet wipes work so much nicer anyways. So much cleaner. I saw a comedian this week talk about that and said like North America is the only place where like people wipe their butt with a dry piece of paper and then say it's clean. Like, can you imagine you got poop on your hand and you just wiped it off with like some toilet paper and you said, "Oh, that's clean, right? That's good to go, right?" It's like everywhere else in the world they use.
Said laugh out loud. Fingers are sticky.
Right? They use a bidet. They use some kind of spritz, whatever, to clean down there and get it wet, whatever. And like North America, we don't do that. We use a dry piece of paper. And we're like, yeah, it's clean. It's good. It's good to go. We like it. But wet wipes, man, I love wet wipes. I remember the day that I discovered wet wipes they're not just for babies anymore, and I was a happy camper. Landon was a little kid, and I was like, you know what? Like, this was before wet wipes became a thing. Before now they got dude wipes and all that stuff, But I remember when Landon was a baby, and I was like I was sitting there in the bathroom, and I was like, I got that not so fresh feeling.
Swamp butt?
Yeah, I had some swamp butt, and I didn't have any monkey
butt paste,
monkey butt powder, and so man, I reached for a little.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Mark said it's like trying to clean hot fudge off a balloon with sandpaper.
Never quite get it all.
That's a visual.
Oh man, you don't want to pop the balloon for sure. Ugh. Yeah. On that note. Oh man. But no, I don't know. People are going crazy over the whole toilet paper thing.
Yeah, I read something earlier and it said that someone bought
on Facebook or something. Someone bought a thing of toilet paper for $42 on eBay.
Mark just said I just killed everyone's buzz. LOL.
No, you didn't. It's all good. It's all good. No, you know the toilet paper things. I saw somebody.
I told you why.
Because they make the little things in China.
Because Charmin is the leader of the high-end brand of toilet paper, and the whole thing started over there, which means all of the people have, there are less people, which means there's less workers to make them, and they didn't know how long they'd be out of commission, so people are freaking out and buying extra.
I also heard though it was because people were afraid of being quarantined, and how long it would take. But it's like, how much toilet paper do you really need to stock up on? Like, you think you're gonna be quarantined for that long? If you contract coronavirus and you have it more than a couple of weeks, where like you don't have enough toilet. I mean, how much toilet paper do you really use in a week? I mean, if you're using like a case of toilet paper in a week and you think you got to go out and buy like all the toilet paper, something's wrong. I also saw a meme though that said, back in my day, we had so much toilet paper, we used it to get vengeance on our enemies. How Americans protect themselves against coronavirus. They're all mummified after the quarantine. Nice. A bunch of pregnant women after the quarantine. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is like
what else is there to do when you're stuck in the house?
Mr. Clean Power Eraser.
Won't be so white anymore. They sell it at the dollar store at a 6-pack. Dang, the Batman says schools still haven't closed here in the UK. Our Prime Minister is getting attacked by the media and other world leaders over it here in the UK.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I'm not trying to think. I'm just imagining Mr. Clean shows up, like Mr. Clean, and he shows up with a power eraser for your butt.
Caleb says, I saw a dude making masks out of toilet paper and string and selling them for $5 on eBay.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! My favorite is wash your hands, everybody, for the airborne illness.
Working in the medical field, they're like, oh, wash your hands, cover your cough. I'm like, I literally have those posted on my board in my office.
Like, you weren't washing your hands before? Maybe we should have a talk.
Mark just said, uh-oh, someone broke Enosh.
That was funny. I'm sorry, the Mr. Clean thing. This thing, the Mr. Clean eraser, I'm just imagining like, my butt seems dirty. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Shows up
Dirty butt, clean it up.
Shows up
like
with,
orbits.
Yeah, orbits for your butt. Stick a piece of gum.
It's orbits.
Put a piece of gum up your butt. Dirty bum, clean it with orbits.
Be like Jim Carrey and turn around and talk with your butt. Be like, excuse me, can I ask you a question?
Can I ask you a question?
Do I have some breath mint, some Banaka perhaps?
That's
Jeff
funny.
says people are starting to become hoarders. The Batman says no one cares here in our government. They said they won't do anything for at least another week. Like
wow.
What the H-Man.
Dang. And he's in
Batman says yeah, it lasts hours in the air and up to 3 days on surfaces.
Man. Here in the UK. Wow.
Look at how she's passed out.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy, Batman. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, we had a little bit of a situation here where somebody locally came into crazy contact. The way that they came into contact, possibly with the coronavirus, they have self-quarantined themselves, even though they don't have it, and there's no signs that they do have it. They went to a basketball game where the guy who got it was at, and got a souvenir from that guy. Yeah. So.
Mark says it only lasts a short time on cardboard, so it's time to start living in boxes on the sidewalk.
Hey, the homeless haven't had it right the whole time. Man, oh man. It's just crazy that this is like a global thing, right? That like Batman's over in the UK, they're dealing with it. We're here in the US now, we're dealing with
Technically,
it.
they're not dealing with it because the Prime Minister don't want to do nothing.
That's true.
And then Mark says, oh, shoot.
I just feel like no matter what happens, like if they get ahead of this, then it's going to be like, oh, look, we did all these things and we stamped it out early. And if they do all these things and it doesn't stop anything, and then there's going to be like everybody's going to find like an angle. You know what I mean? That's my problem with it. It's like just fix it. Like figure it out. You know, hey, let's all do our part. Let's all clean up everything. Close the schools to clean everything that you got to clean. Do everything that you need to do, and let's try to take care of this thing. You know, be responsible, whatever.
Darth Stacy said butt naka. Is that a banaka?
But not.
Mark says, our work has us all working remotely, and my classes at the university have all moved online. We have 2 confirmed cases here in Hawaii, but I'm sure it will grow soon.
Well, you're in an enclosed place too. Man, I mean, there's not too many more places it can go. You know, I mean, from there, that's wow.
Batman says no, the UK even went one more. They said on the news that they want us to get infected, like 60% of us, so the weak die and the strong become immune to it, literally. Mark said hard to drive across the border and hide in the mountains. Jeff says that what's crazy is people are trying to get tested but are turned away.
Man. Wow, to actually, I mean, that's crazy to actually like want the weak to pass so that the strong survive. That's just, now that right there is some, that's some supervillain stuff right there. Which kind of makes you think too. It's like all this stuff is going on, like you can't go anywhere, right?
Well, Jeff says what's crazy is people are trying to get tested but are turned away.
That's crazy too. But I mean, you gotta think like what's up with this really? Because I mean, you can't go anywhere, you can't buy anything hardly because everybody's bought everything, and you know, I mean, there's like basic necessities.
They're Y2K in it.
Yeah, they're Y2K in it in a big way. But like everything's closed off. You're not gonna be able to watch TV. You're not gonna be able to, you know, I mean, like, 'cause there's not gonna be nothing new
Mark
on.
says the head of the CDC today authorized free tests for everyone in the U.S.
Yes.
But it would take a while for the logistics to pan out, I'm guessing. And Darth said, I think they're actually paying $7,000 to help find a cure for the virus, Batman, but they have to inject you with it first. I saw an article about that this morning.
Mm.
And that's what we were talking about in my office too. And they're like, so what happens if you just
Die?
die from it? And they're like, you get the $7,000 back and go to the next person. Oh, you have $7,000?
I'm a pretty strong guy though. Pretty healthy dude. But that's, what a risk to take. Be like, I'll sign up, yeah, inject me with the coronavirus to try to find a cure.
As long as you don't have a compromised immune system.
Yeah, but who wants to get that sick? I mean, because that's the thing, is like, I just don't want to get it. Like, people are like, you know, well, yeah, I'm pretty strong and I think I can survive it. Yeah, most people are going to survive it. But, like, who wants to get that sick in the first place? And now, if I get it, I'll go and be like, hey, I already got it. So give me my $7,000, you can study me.
It's not like the chicken pox where it's like, okay, I'm done now.
Well, now there's people, though, who are getting over it. And I read one article, one lady said, you know what, I got it. Yeah, it sucked, but it wasn't that bad. And I'm okay now. So I don't know. It's so just ridiculous. I mean, just the panic. That's the problem that I have with it. I'm so sick of hearing about toilet paper. I'm so sick of hearing about you know, people losing their minds. I'm so sick of all that stuff. Like, I just want people to be realistic.
People doing a fight club in Sam's Club.
Yeah, I want people to be realistic. I want people to take care of themselves. I want people to take care of others, do the things that they need to do, you know. But obviously, don't panic. I mean, it's a thin line. Panic at the disco. I chime in. Haven't anyone any heard of washing your blank hands?
Batman says people do tests all the time and get paid for it. I was
Yeah.
going to take part in one, I won't name it, and it was paying $2,000.
Wow. The unnameable one. But that was Batman? Ah, see, now we know where Bruce Wayne got all that money. And why he's like invulnerable to everything. He's got the cure for everything. Because Batman's been injected with everything. That's what it is right there. She looks like she's got rabbit feet.
It's because she's got white toes.
I know, she looks like she's got rabbit feet. It's funny.
Mark says it was a test for Mr. Clean service. Admit it.
Mr. Clean comes up and cleans your bum.
Somebody's head's bald.
This is how the zombies come in. What was the show that we used to watch? Last Man on Earth? Yeah. Have you guys seen Last Man on Earth? It ended weird, but...
Caleb says they're talking about giving Americans $1,000 a month until the virus dies down and people can get back to work. Italy has actually suspended all bills for necessities for 2 months.
There you go.
Too bad with the line of work that I have, I can't not go to work. Because I work with the elderly and the people with compromised immune systems and the actively passing, so...
Oh, it's a little rough when you know that you have a job that relies on people staying alive and giving. I don't know.
Mark says Last Man on Earth just saw the first season, but it is constantly coming up on my Hulu queue.
I liked Last Man on Earth. The last season was a little roughish, but everything leading up to those first, because I think it only lasted 3 seasons. Was it 3 or 4?
I don't remember. Batman says, so are you two not going back to work for a week or two? I have to go to work.
Yeah, I'm going to work. I got to show up on Sunday morning. My worship team will actually be showing up on Sunday morning as well. We're not having an open service at the church. We're just going to do a closed service where we just live stream. So because
they PJs to church.
Yeah, no, they've our governor here in Michigan has issued.
Mark says it makes me never want to go into a swimming pool again.
Has issued a restraint on gatherings of over 250 people. So that's what I was talking about at the beginning of the live stream. Is that I had an idea though. I had an idea because we have 2 big rooms we have our main sanctuary, which holds about 1,800 to 2,000, and then we've got our family center, which holds about 300 or so. So I said we could put 250 people in the family center, let us do our music and everything, and then dismiss those people and let those people go to the main sanctuary where Pastor Rob could preach to them. And then when those 250 come out, we could have 250 more come in and do music with them.
So it's like drive-through or fast food church?
Like fast food church. There is a church in Grand Rapids that's doing drive-in church on Sunday morning. They're setting up their parking lot like a drive-in, and they're putting their worship team and their pastor up on the roof. And I don't know how that's going to work because like you couldn't put people on our roof because our roof is a flat roof, and you'd have to make a stage or something to build it up. But they're putting it, and they're beaming out an FM signal so that everybody could turn their radio on and stay in their cars and do worship that way. Be interesting.
Darth says I might have to Batman. I work at a school and they closed my work today for at least 2 weeks. Batman says, shoot, that's concerning. I didn't know if it was about Darth or about Mark saying about pools. And then Darth said, laugh out loud, Mark, that's actually my job that I get laid off from a swim instructor. Believe it or not, it's one of the cleanest places you can be. Chlorine kills the virus, and they're usually super humid. Caleb says, we hold our services in the gym, Family Life Center. We have about 1,000 per service.
That's cool. Yeah, that's just rough right now because, man, with them cutting now down public gatherings, and it's hard because...
You're going to lunch tomorrow?
What's that?
But you're going to lunch tomorrow in a public place?
With my grandma. Still gotta go to Applebee's every once in a while.
Because the coronavirus doesn't like to go to Applebee's?
No, coronavirus doesn't like Applebee's.
And as bad as it is, I've had stuck in my head since this started. My Corona.
My Corona. Apparently drinking a Corona doesn't get rid of it either. But you're right, humidity and,
Mark says, I Googled Church, Michigan, Enosh, and found you at Central Church.
There you go. That's better than somebody found...
Now, if you go to the church and you'd like to watch our services, you can watch past ones and see how our church is. I lead songs, he leads songs. and to see how we do on Sunday, because I'm also doing announcements if they're online, because I do them for this Sunday.
Well, that's right. You're gonna do it. You did announcements this week,
and
they're not.
No one's gonna see it.
No one's gonna be there.
So,
well, they'll see them online.
But if you click Watch Online, then that will take you to our services, and it'll say choir-led or band-led. Band-led is the second service. That's our service. You can go back. You can watch it as it's happening, or you can watch it later whenever you want, and it's the entire service from start to finish.
Yeah. So
including sermon and everything.
In news of weird online stuff this week, so I'm part of this DC action figure fan group, and this fan group has been really cool. You guys know, if you guys are here on the channel, that I do these action figure reviews stuff. I would love to do more Star Wars reviews because obviously I have a whole room full of Star Wars stuff. But unfortunately, I don't get to do a lot of Star Wars reviews because a lot of the stuff that I've collected over the last couple of years has been Black Series stuff. They stopped making the 3 3/4 figures, and so I don't open my Black Series figures because I put them all up on the wall. But this week, a guy got really weird on me. I had to block him on that thing because it got strange. There's these new McFarlane DC action figures, and I really like them. I'll be honest with them. I know when I first saw them, I thought they looked a little weird, a little strange, and they scaled them up to 7 inches. But now I just love them. They're just awesome. And so I've been doing reviews of all these and stuff. In fact, after this goes off the air, my new review for the new Nightwing figure will go up. So some guy on there, everybody's been really great on this Facebook page. And it's been cool because they're all real good DC fans. Like, they love DC. But somebody posted on there that he's like, can't we just say that this figure line is a failure? Because he was in Canada, and he said that it was a failure because in Canada, apparently, they're not selling very well. Well, that must be Canada, because down here, at least we're in Michigan where I'm at, and like all the other groups that I'm at, people are buying these things. At first there was some reluctance to them because of the scale of them and things like that, but like when people see them in person, they're awesome looking action figures. This dude, because I said, hey, I like them and stuff like that, apparently he like Facebook stalks me, and he says, well, nobody cares what you think anyways because you live in a trailer. And I was like, he Facebook stalked me, but he got that way wrong because we don't live in a trailer. And he's like, yeah, you live in a trailer and like out in the middle of the country, which, dude, you will never find Enosh living out in the middle of the country. Enosh is not a country dude. No offense to anybody who...
City boy.
No offense to anybody who can do it because I respect all that and stuff. I got friends who are farmers and stuff like that, but I just could not do that. Like, the country is just not my thing. I've always been a city guy. I love living in the city. And this guy is saying all this weird stuff about me, right? Then he pulls up a picture of me, like this was a deep cut, because he would have had to gone back 3 years now to when we went and visited my family in Seattle. And he pulls up a picture of me when I was bigger on the scooter, or not scooter, the little mini motorcycle, the little mini motorcycle out there that my dad had. Like, that's from 3 years ago in my upload section on Facebook.
Unless he saved it.
Well, I'm saying he pulls, and that's all he does is post that, like trying to make some like derogatory statement about me that like I'm fat, and I'm like, dude, he obviously didn't look at, because it's not like this video, so he doesn't know what I look like now, he doesn't know any of this stuff, and I'm like, okay, dude, you're a creep. I'm like, I don't care if you like those figures or not. I don't care about any of that stuff anymore. Like, you're a freaking idiot. Like, first of all, yeah, I weighed 430 pounds at one point. Yeah, that was a picture of me on a little mini bike because my son was playing on it and wanted me to ride it too, and so I rode it too and had some fun with my son. No, I do not live in a trailer park. Who the heck are you? And then I had to block him because I just wasn't going to deal with that.
Mark
crap.
says it all makes sense now. Every time I watch the intro to Point Dexter Lounge videos, I think that guy speaks somewhere for a living. He sounds like a radio DJ or something. Darth says, I've actually watched it once around Christmas. You guys do a good job.
Thanks, man.
Marcus Powell says,
we're trying to get the music thing situated because right now we don't have a dedicated person to live mix the live stream. So like usually the speaking parts and stuff sound fine. some weeks will sound better musically than others, but it just depends upon what's going on. Because some weeks don't sound as good because we don't have this year is our church's 100th year anniversary, and so because of that, we've got a big campaign. We're changing a lot of things in our church, doing a lot of upgrades and stuff. We're hoping to get a new sound system. We're also hoping to get a new board for just the live stream so that the mix sounds really good music wise. But there's weeks that it sounds really good musically, and then there's some weeks that don't sound as good. But
Marcus Powell says, "Where's the rest of the crew?" Mark says they're out buying more toilet paper.
we sent the kids out. Landon's upstairs doing something, and the other boys are at the
Mark also said, "Enosh, are you from Seattle?" I'm from Seattle.
I am not from Seattle. I'm originally from Las Vegas. And then I grew up in Flint, Michigan, most of my life. But my dad lives in Seattle. I have family in Seattle. I've got 2 sisters and a brother in the Seattle area.
He's like, "You serious, Clark?"
I am. And then my dad lives in Seattle. I was just in Seattle a couple months ago. Back in November, I was in Seattle. And that was when we were doing the whole hashtag I Love Star Wars thing. I was driving all around Seattle looking for places to get comic books and toys and stuff like that. Found a bunch of cool places in Seattle to do that because I had a rental car and stuff. I'll probably be back in Seattle back this November. Hopefully, as long as all this stuff is taken care of by then, because there's a big conference out there. And so because I have family out there, I went out there and worked out really well this time because I spent like 3 or 4 days with my family and then did 3 days for the conference. And it was an excellent conference. So usually I'm not big on conferences, but this was an excellent conference. So I think I'm going to go back again this year and do that. So it was fun. That's cool that you're in Seattle. I know a lot of stuff's going on in Seattle, right?
No, from Seattle. This is Mark is the one that lives in Hawaii. But Seattle.
Okay. I like Seattle though. Seattle's a pretty area. It's really nice there. What?
Caleb says hopefully they're staying safe up there in Seattle.
Yeah, there's a lot of craziness going in Seattle. It's like one of the hotbed places right now for coronavirus.
Mark says, "Did you go to Everett, to the place where they made all the cool action figures?" Darth says, "Do you live in Washington still, Mark?"
I did not go to Everett where they make all that. Is that where? Because isn't Funko up there?
I thought that was California.
No, I thought Funko was up in Washington State somewhere. I could be wrong. But I thought
Mark
so.
says, "No, I'm in Hawaii now. I left Seattle back in 1994. California for 11 years, China for 8 years, Hawaii for 7.
Wow.
Mark says, "Yeah, Funko."
Yeah. I thought Funko
And
was up there.
RXDS123 says hi.
What's up, RKDS123?
Is it K? Oh, sorry,
Welcome to the conversation. Yeah, I was born in Las Vegas. I still have some friends in Las Vegas, and that's where like my roots were. I lived in Sacramento for a year, for a while, and was there, and then moved to Michigan, and so yeah, but like I said, I got some family up there. My brother lives in where does he live in? Bellingham, I think, or somewhere around there. And my sisters live just outside of Seattle, and my dad lives just outside of Seattle, and so it's beautiful up there.
Mark says, "I used to live in Bellingham."
Really? That's cool. How old are you, Mark?
Darth Tasty said, "Nice. I'm actually from California myself. I left in 94. I've been to Washington and Oregon a couple of times, though I've always said I want to retire there." Mark says, hashtag West Coast. RKDS123 says, "Are y'all trying to stay safe?"
Yes, we are.
Darth Tasty says, "Except now I live on the East Coast outside of Philadelphia." Mark says, hashtag East Coast. Then Mark said, "I used to live in Bellingham." Darth said, "Now you have it right with the West Coast first, LOL. I prefer that." Mark says, "Old enough to have seen Star Wars and Superman in the theater, LOL." But so were you.
So was I.
Oh,
I was born in '76. So I was curious because my brother lived out there. Their family, that family's name is Belcher, and so I was just wondering if stranger things have happened.
Mark says I'm a few years older than you, 1970.
Okay, yeah. So it's not too much older than me. So yeah. What was the?
I'm a youngin.
There's something about the Southwest that keeps beckoning to me. I don't know. I love the Southwest. I was just back in LA 2 summers ago, and I spent some time there. I went to a conference there, and I keep saying, like, I'm gonna, there's nothing there for me anymore. I'm not gonna go back out there and stuff. Like, I want to take you out to Vegas at some point and show you my old stomping grounds and stuff, and show the boys and stuff. Because my family, we used to make that trip from Michigan to Vegas in a car, which is a pretty big trip. It's
at the time though, I would still want to.
Yeah, it's like almost, it's like a 2,500.
I get 2 weeks paid vacation after July.
I think it's like a 2,500 mile trip.
But that's all I get for the year.
But we used to make that trip by car, and it was just so much fun driving down to the States and then driving down to the Southwest and stuff, Albuquerque.
Mark says you and your JC haircut need the desert climate.
For sure. When I was a kid, my hair was this straight. If you look at my son Landon, that's how straight my hair was until I moved to Michigan. My hair was sandy blonde and straight as a board, and then I moved to Michigan, and it got wavy, and then it got straight up curly and really dark. And that's what I ended up with. But yeah, living out in the desert and stuff, my hair was super straight. I had a bowl haircut, if you can believe that, when I was a kid. Like, it was super. I had the bangs and everything. And it was super straight, and it just.
RKDS123 says all the corona stuff is worrying. Batman says the coronavirus won't be around long because almost everything that's made in China never lasts. Mark says pictures! Exclamation point.
Okay, I'll get some pictures around. I'll get some pictures around
Mark
to show you guys.
says hashtag bowl cut.
Yeah, I had the bowl cut. I had a really interesting experience
Is
up
Mark
in Seattle.
friends with you on any of the social medias that you
I
can
don't know,
post
Mark.
a picture to?
Mark, yeah, you should look us up on social media, man, because
You can post some or tag him or send him a secret message with some of them in
yeah,
there.
because I've got all kinds of pictures on social media of that stuff. Actually, my hair used to be a lot longer
Got
than this.
pictures of you as a little kid in a Superman underoos in a Winnebago.
Yep. My hair when I was between 16 and 21, I grew my hair out.
Nope, I'm not, but I'll find y'all.
Yep, it's really easy to find me. But my hair, I grew my hair out really long. I had really long curly hair there for a while. I can't imagine. Can you imagine if I had straightened it back then? How long? It would have been down to my butt.
Yeah, no, I know what, because your sister, Jamie, has done it. She's got her hair down to here curly, and when she straightens it, my gosh, it's amazing.
I know, and so like if this, because I didn't realize my hair was this long right now, and I straightened it and it was this long. When my hair was super long, if I would have straightened it, it would have been like down to my butt. But,
Mark just said Facebook friend request sent.
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely.
And Marcus Powell said, which of the next big sci-fi flicks are you looking forward to seeing, Dune or Tenet?
So did you ask this question?
Mark said, "Ooh, Tenet though, right? That looks amazing."
So I don't know if it was you who asked this question, but somebody asked this question in a comment on one of our videos, and I lost it. And I don't know if you guys have YouTube channels or whatever, but it's the comment thing is really frustrating sometimes on YouTube because you have to use YouTube Studio or whatever to be able to go back and look at all the comments and stuff. And if I ever don't answer a comment of you guys's, just know that I'm sorry. That wait till a live stream and maybe ask me there because I try to answer questions and stuff. But like if I have a couple of days that I can't, that I don't see them. Sometimes I just can't find them back in the thing. And then also, if you're commenting on somebody else's thing, I don't always see that. Sometimes I'll go back through and I'll find a comment like a month later, and I'll be like, man, like I would have answered that question, but I didn't even know that it was there because it's on another somebody's
Mark
question.
just says hashtag more trailer reactions, please. And Darth says, nice, I grew up in the desert.
Cool. But so as far as sci-fi thing, I'm interested in the Dune thing. Because I remember being a kid, and I remember the first one just being really boring, or the Dune movie, not the first one, but you know what I'm saying, the Dune movies when I was a kid. I remember them really being boring, and so I'm interested to see what they can do with that property now. The Tenet thing, so I know everybody's losing their mind over Tenet. I just don't know that much about it. Like, somebody, that's what I was asking, because somebody asked me how excited I was for Tenet. Just based on the first trailer that came out, there really wasn't much to it. It was just the guy just kind of standing there. And so, like, I really don't know what that movie's about. But I'm interested in it. I'm interested in it because everybody is, like, super excited about it. And so, you know, the Dune thing I'm only concerned about because I don't know if I can get everybody else out to go see that movie with me. And so I don't know if I'm going to end up going to see it by myself. But because I don't know if you know much about Dune. It was kind of a weird sci-fi. It was definitely a weird sci-fi book, and then it was made into a movie. And I think there's like 2 movies, aren't there? There's a sequel to it, but it was pretty strange, and not everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But they've taken forever to try to get this new one off the ground, and they finally were able to get it, you know, approved, and they're making it. So I'm interested to see what they do with it. I like the meme that says like that. I think I sent you the meme of it a couple of weeks ago of what's his name who played Batman. That he gained like 3,500 pounds or whatever to play the Sandworm. What's his name? Who played Batman? I'm having a brain fart right now.
Which one?
In The Dark Knight.
Christian Bale?
Christian Bale. The Christian Bale gained 3,500 pounds to play the Sandworm in the new Dune remake. So, can anybody give me a synopsis of what Tenet is? And tell me what Tenet is and like why you're excited for it? Because I'm interested in it. I just don't know a lot about it, to be honest with you.
There's someone that we know. I forgot who it was though that was in that movie.
In Tenet? They're in Tenet?
Yeah, I gotta remember what it was now. Darth said, "Nice, I grew up in the desert." Mark said, "I grew up in the desert, hence my blood sugar levels." Darth said, "Are you taking Southern California's
He grew up in the desert.
dessert? If yes, where?" He said, "I grew up eating a lot of sweets, lol."
I remember.
Darth said, "I'm tired, went right over my head, lol." Mark says, "They should bring Sting back for Dune." Mark also said, "Tenet, secret organization has technology to manipulate time backwards to solve crimes. Totally a guess based on having seen the trailer once."
That's his guess?
Totally a guess based on having seen the trailer once.
Oh, okay. I've only seen one trailer. Are there multiple trailers? Because the only trailer I've seen is the guy who's got like the oxygen mask on, and that's it. And so like I didn't get anything from that really, to be honest with you. He's like behind the glass or something like that, and so I didn't really get what that was to be able to know about it, enough about it. I remember being in the desert when I was a kid. I remember being in Sacramento. There was like some desert right there, and these kids used to drive their dirt bikes through there. I remember having a Dukes of Hazzard big wheel, riding that all around and stuff through the desert. And I mean, I just remember being in the heat, and I loved Vegas, man. I loved growing up in Vegas. I had so much fun growing up in Vegas, guys. And then we moved to Michigan, and that was completely different. You know, here we get the seasons. We get snow. We get fall. We get spring. Sometimes summer just passes by. It's not warm at all. But yeah, man, I loved being in Vegas. I loved the Southwest. There's something about the Southwest that still calls to me, and I don't know what it is. And I don't know if one day I'll end up there, but it's nice. I enjoy it, for sure.
Mark says, "Isn't like 11:30 p.m. there right now? The sun is still out over here.
Nice.
Y'all some night owls."
We are. I won't be in bed. I won't be in bed for a long time still yet, because I'll find something to watch or something to do, and I got to finish up my Nightwing video and yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm going on 2.5, 3 hours of sleep because of not being able to fall asleep and having a puppy that wants to stay awake or start chewing on the bone at like 2 in the morning.
We're chewing up our carpet.
Yeah. But I get up at 6 a.m. and I'm on call this weekend, so if I don't get sleep and then stuff hits the fan tomorrow, I'm gonna be cranky and tired and angry, and I don't want that. So.
I don't want that either.
But if I stay up, I can't be doing this like 24-hour staying awake thing. Where if I just go upstairs, the dogs snuggle me, keep me warm, and I go to sleep.
You know what I need to do? I need to probably make another. I need to call my friend Mark Uno to come and do another video while you're sleeping.
Not too loud though, because
You have not heard me do any of my
Except for
Mark
me.
Uno videos.
Mark Uno, no, but there's times because I
Mark
can't
Uno
wear,
is very quiet.
because I can't wear my earplugs right now because I'm afraid she's gonna chew something while I'm sleeping and I don't hear it.
That's true too.
And when I'm on call, I can't wear my earplugs because I gotta answer the phone within 15 minutes. If I don't answer it right away, or I'm in trouble. That's why I'm on call.
That's true.
Mark says, "Did you just call Enosh a puppy?"
No, I don't make loud noises and chew up the carpet.
You did make a loud noise
Wait a
once
second.
when we saw the movie Mama.
What did I just say?
Yeah, you made an innuendo.
I don't think I meant to say that. Wookie just looked at me like, Such an inquisitive dog you are.
I like his eyebrows. The Batman says Mama was petrifying, and Mark says at least not on cameras. No, the Batman, the reason I say that is because that's the one movie that apparently mentally messed with Enosh, because the movie was great, we watched it, it was, good, but then...
Mama did not, so here's my story about Mama. I thought the movie was kind of lame. I didn't think it was scary at all. And I told you that. Like, I was like watching, I was like, this movie wasn't scary, whatever. Stupid me goes to bed, I have this dream. Like, if you saw Mama, you remember in the dream where the girl, like, spoilers for Mama, I guess, the little girl, like, is by the fire or whatever, she gets up close to the fire, and it's, like, just outside the light or whatever, something grabs her feet and, like, pulls her back or whatever. I have this crazy dream that I'm in the movie or something like that, but that something grabs. What was the dream that I had? It's been so long.
I remember because that was when the kids were not in the house that night, thank God, because they would have been woken up. And I wear foam earplugs that you roll and I put them in, and I couldn't get them out quick enough when it happened. But in the dream, that part of the movie where they're yanked into the shadows, he said that in his dream there was something, whether it would be a cart, it was something that got rolled up to him, and Enosh went like this and he went close to it, and as he went to go touch it, something pulled him into the darkness. And apparently when that happened in the dream, I'm sitting here, trying to sleep, and he literally starts screaming bloody murder at the top of his lungs.
Yeah.
And it was like like screaming, like I had to get my earplugs out. Scared me so bad. I had to shake him awake. And then afterwards, he looks at me like, "Aren't you gonna go to bed?" You just scared the crap out of me. I had to turn the TV on to unwind for a few minutes because it scared me. And he went right back to bed, no issues, no nothing, never ever since. It was just, but oh my gosh.
Yep. I remember the fear, but I don't remember screaming. I don't remember
screaming at the top of your
I don't
lungs.
remember ever screaming. I just remember the fear of being pulled into the darkness because there was like a shopping cart or something.
That's
it was
what you
like
told
it was
me
like right there, and I was laying
and
on the ground.
you were looking at it like, why the heck is that happening? And then when you went to go touch it, something pulled you into the darkness.
Yeah, like it wasn't even set up in that movie or anything.
Batman said,
right? Like I was just laying there on the floor, and I remember seeing like a cart, and I went out to touch it, and all of a sudden it was like I got pulled back and like into the darkness, and I
And
remember.
that's what caused you to
I remember
scream,
the
you said.
fear. That's all I remember is the
Because you
fear.
said you grabbed your chest and you said that because your chest hurt.
My heart was racing.
Like,
and
my heart was
I just
racing 'cause you were
remember
screaming.
the fear, but she said I was screaming. Craziest dream I ever had though was in 3 parts, and I only remember the last part. But in the dream, I was like walking around in the dream, and this giant like hand, like a Mickey Mouse glove, like type of hand. I don't know if it was God or whatever. Picked me up.
Send me your best Instapot because I want to get one of those. So, what your best recipe is?
This giant hand came out of the sky, picked me up out of the dream, pulled me out of the dream, and put me into another, and like threw me into another dream. And I remember like going into the second dream, like, what? And I remember like realizing at that moment, I'm in a dream. This is a dream. And I can't remember what the first dream was, and I don't remember what the second dream was, but I remember then like I was like, okay, I'm in the second dream. All right, so I started walking around in the second dream, kind of doing stuff or whatever. All of a sudden something happened, and there was like a commotion going on, and this hand comes back out, pulls me out of the second dream, throws me into the third dream, and I remember like being there in that dream, but then this was back in the 90s. I was on Michael Jackson's Neverland Valley Ranch. And here's the thing. There were these gang kids like running around the ranch trying to tag stuff, spray paint stuff, and he had security, and guess who his head of security was? We were supposedly on a tour, and our church secretary was there, and she was Michael Jackson's personal assistant, and these kids were running all around trying to tag the buildings on the Neverland Valley Ranch, and he called for security. Michael Jackson did, because Michael Jackson was there. Michael Jackson called for security, and all of a sudden, Lieutenant Worf and a bunch of guys from Star Trek: The Next Generation beamed down because they were his head of security, and they were looking for all these teenagers and stuff, and so they were like rounding up these teenagers, and they had phaser guns and everything, and they were doing all this stuff, and Michael was asking me like how I liked the place, how I thought the place was, blah blah blah, and it was fine or whatever. Then all of a sudden this hand picks me up again, pulls me out of that dream, and throws me into my own body on my bed. And I remember, because I had a twin bed, I lived at home at the time, I had a twin bed, I literally bounced off my bed. I woke up flying out of bed and landed on the floor. Craziest dream I've ever had. And my heart was just going like this. Because I remember getting thrown into my own body and bouncing up off the bed onto the floor. Insane dream.
I will have to do that. Thank you.
Y'all are having a conversation. I'm here
Mark
like
says
bare in
that-
my soul.
Mark
And-
says, okay, y'all, time to Instapot some grub. Have a good night and stay nerdy. Keep those hands washed. You never know where those action figures have been.
That's true too. That's another concern because I do buy toys, and I've gotten some stuff from China. Don't think that hasn't been in the back of my head.
Mark's Batman says, really, I've never had that happen to me regarding your story. Marcus says, sounds like you went to the dark side of the Force. The Batman says, Harvey Weinstein.
Oh.
Mark says, check out Pressure Luck Cooking and the Six Sisters stuff for some good Instapot content for me. Mark says, I met him once, Harvey Weinstein. Batman says, later, Mark. And Marcus says, story for another night.
There you go. Well, hey guys, I think it is about time to call it a night because it's past
Get some
11:30 here.
food.
Get some food, time to go to bed, all that good stuff. But hey, thanks for joining us tonight. This was fun. I know we got started a little late tonight, but thanks guys for always making the Poindexter Lounge so much fun. You guys are just awesome. And also thank you especially, thank you tonight to
Mark Moran.
To Mark.
And the Batman.
And the Batman for your gifts, for your super chats. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much. You guys are fun. And thank you just to everybody. We love all of you. We appreciate, everything anybody does, but thank you guys so much. You guys are fantastic. And we love having you guys around. We love having these nights where we can just chat and talk nerdy stuff, and I love when somebody like appreciates all the crazy crap that's been stuck in my head for all these years. And thank you for not pronouncing it moron. LOL. That's funny. That's funny. But no, I mean, I always figured that one day all this, watching constant television and old movies and, you know, reading up on Star Wars lore and stuff, you know, would actually come in handy.
Did you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?
That's how I feel sometimes with the nerdy stuff. Like when I made that video, if you guys saw the video I made last week about Emperor Palpatine being a clone and like how I didn't understand how you couldn't, you know, get that, and I put all this stuff in there about Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, like going on about how he doesn't know anything about, you know, the expanded universe and stuff, and I'm like I get it, like not everybody's gonna know everything, right? But like also, if you're a Star Wars person and you're gonna have a channel and you're gonna put down everything Star Wars, I would think that you'd be up on that stuff. Like I don't expect everybody. Like there were some people who commented and they're like, well, I don't know anything about that either, and that's fine. Like that's cool. Like a lot of people come to the channel here and they're like, Enosh, what about this? What about that? And if I know about it, like I'll be the first to admit that I don't know a lot about Knights of the Old Republic. But I know that there are people on here who love Knights. I know that Darth Tasty loves Knights of the Old
Darth
Republic.
said being in Neverland Ranch is scary enough.
Right. I know that Caleb loves Knights of the Old Republic, I believe. And I've got other friends who love Knights of the Old Republic. But you won't see me like why would I come on here and be like, Knights of the Old Republic sucks and everything about Knights of the Old Republic sucks and they're getting it wrong and everything, whatever. If I don't know anything about Knights of the Old Republic, how are you going to complain about the expanded universe if you don't know anything about the expanded universe and you admit that? You know, my thing is like I just got a general overview knowledge of most things Star Wars, and I'm sure now with the way Star Wars is going, you'll probably see me like delving a lot more into the lore of Knights of the Old Republic and some of that old stuff. I like Darth Revan. I love his story. I like where they've taken him on some of that stuff. So, yeah, I love Star Wars. Hashtag I love Star Wars, right? But that's what you're gonna get at this channel. You're gonna get me talking about stuff, and there's a lot of just different stuff that I love. I love DC. I love
Jeff
Star
said,
Wars.
did you hear about the new Star Wars book series?
Yes, the High Republic, and I'm interested in the High Republic. I'm interested where they're going with it. Here's my one concern about High Republic, and that is for all my friends who are Old Republic fans, because this does not. They're only going back a couple hundred years, back before the Phantom Menace, and so. I think a lot of people are expecting that this is going to be Old Republic type of stuff, but I don't think that it's going to be that. I think they're telling different stories. They're telling stories from just a couple hundred years before the Phantom Menace, and so that's not like 1,000 years before, you know, where it's like you got the Jedi and the Sith and all that stuff. There are going to be Jedi. I don't know if there's going to be Sith because they talk about how in the Phantom Menace that the Sith have been gone for 1,000 years. You know, so, you know, I don't see that there are really going to be a lot of, there's a new group of bad guys in this new thing. I can't remember what they're called right now off the top of my head. We did a whole video about that, about the High Republic. And so you can find that here on the channel, that we did the whole video about the High Republic and what all it entailed and what all it was going to be. I'm hoping it's going to be good. You know, it'll be interesting to see like what materializes out of it, you know, because I know there's going to be a book series, there's going to be comic books, things like that. Will it materialize into a movie? If it's popular enough, it will. I'm sure at some point. I don't know how soon it will. I think it's funny right now. You got I almost said Darth Zero. Mike Zero ranting on about Luke Skywalker, about how they're going to reboot Luke Skywalker and reboot The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, and how the new Disney CEO wants to redo the sequels and stuff like that. That's not going to happen. That is such stupid crap to even say. And every video literally says, this person saved Luke Skywalker. Wait till you see the next Mark Uno thing that I do, because it is like made me laugh so hard, because every video is like Kathleen Kennedy, you know, destroys Luke Skywalker, but then it's like George Lucas saves Luke Skywalker, and the new CEO of Disney saves Luke Skywalker, and this saves Luke Skywalker, and they're gonna recast Luke Skywalker and tell Luke Skywalker stories. And look, I would love a a Luke Skywalker show, and I think that what's his name who played Winter Soldier, Sebastian Shaw, and I keep calling him Sebastian Shaw. Sebastian Shaw played Anakin Skywalker in the original Return of the Jedi. Stan Sebastian, is it?
I'm not sure of names.
Or Sebastian Stan? It's one of those. He looks a lot like Mark Hamill at that age. So I think if you had it maybe as Mark Hamill as old Luke Skywalker, kind of hinting back at early Luke Skywalker things. So because you got to have Mark Hamill in there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just exclude Mark Hamill. So I think if you have old Luke Skywalker maybe telling tales of young Luke Skywalker, that would be pretty cool. I would dig that. But we'll have to wait and see if anything ever materializes of that. Thankfully, they're done filming Mandalorian Season 2 already. So hopefully this whole coronavirus won't affect Mandalorian 2, Season 2 coming out.
True.
Because man, I just want this to be done with now. I mean, hopefully it'll run its course. It'll be done. We can get back to normal, but this virus is obviously taken a huge toll already. It's a much bigger thing than has come beforehand with all the other viruses and crazy diseases and stuff that we've seen. So hopefully we all get through this and you all stay safe. And if you start feeling sick, know the symptoms, right? It's not stuffy nose or runny nose or anything like that. It's a dry cough. It's a fever.
It's flu-like symptoms and fevers. They're actually saying now that the 98.6 is not the status quo as much anymore on how people are running. So even 101.4 or 100.4 is actually being considered a temperature above the norm now.
Yeah. So anything with fever, chills. They're saying fever, chills, dry cough, stuff like that. Try to get checked. Do something because we don't want to see you guys sick, and we definitely don't want to see anybody pass. And if you have a compromised immune system, definitely stay safe. If you can, stay home, work from home, but do what you can. We love you guys, and we don't want to see anybody hurt for sure.
Bruce says, has it hit your area yet? And Jeff says, I already have a sinus infection.
Yeah, I've been kind of having a little sinus, the weird thing. Like, it was crazy because the first day that all this thing started hitting, I was like, what in the world's this? But yeah, they had a little minor, so it's in Michigan, and I was just sharing, there's a crazy story locally with some people, and it hasn't really been delved into publicly, so I don't know how much I really want to share, but there's people who came in contact with some people possibly. They've checked out. It's a crazy story, but they've self-quarantined themselves and they've checked. They have gotten tested and stuff, and nobody has it yet. But like there's literally a school across the street that we can see, and the family that's involved has a kid that's in that school. So yeah. Our schools got shut down before the state shut our schools down. Our school system, not like Michigan. They were going to shut our school down for a couple of days, Friday and Monday, and then today our governor came out and shut all the schools down for 3 weeks. So and they've got contingency plans, I guess, that if it's going to go that long or a little bit longer, that they're going to send kids home with laptops or
MacBooks, so that they
MacBooks.
can get homework sent to them by the teachers, that they can do it and not fall behind or not be pushed back.
Yeah, because man,
For people like my son who's graduating this year, or my 8th grader who's going to DC for his school trip that's finally paid for.
yeah, I just can't imagine to be right there at the cusp of graduating and then have something stupid like this happen.
Yes, he is, Mark. Very, very well done. Mark says, isn't President Camacho from Flint? You should have him get in there and do something to fix the situation.
Yeah, but see, President Camacho would just have everybody drinking Brondo, and that wouldn't help anything. I mean, you got to drink your fluids, but Brondo does have electrolytes in it. I guess they are giving some Gatorade to people, so I guess if we drink some Brondo, maybe that might help, right? So you gotta get plenty of fluids. Yep, Terry Crews is definitely from this area. Yep. There's a lot of people actually from Flint, and from the Flint area. So we used to live in the city of Flint. Now we live just outside of Flint.
Mark says Brundle fixes everything.
It does because it's got electrolytes.
Bruce says I'm about to quarantine myself. I already have Lyme disease, so that would be a death sentence for me.
Ooh. Bruce, stay safe, man, for sure. Man, and I know you work with the public, so that's, yeah, man. We don't want to see anything happen to you, Bruce. We need you around, Bruce. One, you're just a nice guy, but then also, I mean, the humanitarian effort that you make, man, to make Star Wars stuff, man, we can't have anything happening to you, bro. So you gotta stay safe and you gotta stay well. For sure.
Bruce says, Ryan, come work with me. It's awesome. Bruce says we could have done in the toys. Flash fan says, rest in peace, Flash, because of the terrible illness worldwide.
Yeah. Yeah, they shut down production of the Flash and most of the CW shows. Supergirl, we read that at the beginning of the live stream. That a lot of those things have gotten shut down. Stranger Things but right now they've shut down for 2 weeks. We read, but hopefully that's it. That things don't get pushed back too far, because otherwise there ain't going to be much to talk about here for a year or so. Anything else, or are we good?
Darth just said we'd end up getting fired opening and fighting with lightsabers, talking to Bruce. Mark says Stranger Things production is harsh. Those kids grow so fast. You're going to have to de-age them if it delays too long.
Right? Like, how are they going to tell that story? So, because they take so long. It's only 8 episodes. That's what I don't understand about that. I mean, I know they're kind of like mini movies and stuff, but like it doesn't take other shows and things like that long to produce an hour-long show. I don't understand why these like Netflix shows take so long to produce when they're only an hour and they only do like 8 episodes. Now I know I think we're getting 9 episodes of Stranger Things this season, but it's like they've taken like the show Black Mirror. Like I love Black Mirror. Black Mirror is one of my favorite shows of all time. Don't you love Black Mirror? And if you haven't seen Black Mirror, it's on Netflix. Watch it. Just don't watch the first episode first. Watch the second episode first. Go from episode 2 on, and then once you start liking it and you get the show, then go back and watch the first one, because the first one's weird. But they're all weird, but it's a great show. And I don't understand it. They've taken like, what now, 2 years? And they made one really cool show. But actually, that show's got sued?
Which one?
Black Mirror.
Why?
So Netflix and the show Black Mirror got sued because they did this special episode. They, instead of filming a season 4, was it? They filmed this special episode called Bandersnatch, which was a great episode, but it was a choose your own ending.
Like
kind
a
of thing.
telltale story choosing.
Yeah, so you get to a certain point in the episode and it would say, do you want to do this or do you want to do this? And you'd pick it and then it would take off in a different direction based on what you picked, right? Which was pretty cool because you could watch the same episode multiple times.
Mark says, yeah, I watched Bandersnatch and it was kind of fun.
Yeah, and you get different results each time that you did it, right? And that was fine. But apparently the people who made the Choose Your Own Ending books are suing because they even reference the Choose Your Own books, and apparently they're trademarked and copyrighted with that term. And so they're saying that basically they stole their idea for a television show from it. And so I think that's why Black Mirror hasn't had many new episodes, because then they came back with, what was it, 3 episodes or 4 episodes? What was it, Tiff?
I don't remember.
'Cause-
It was
because
only
they-
like 3 or 4.
Because they had, and they were good episodes too. I mean, because they had the one episode, the guy who plays Falcon in the MCU, that was a weird episode.
Bruce says, haven't watched Bandersnatch yet. Was it worth it?
It was good. It really was good. I know there were some people who hated on it, but I think there's just people who hate on stuff because they just don't like life. So they're going to complain about everything. We binged Black Mirror pretty quick. Like the first 3 seasons, we binged it all pretty quick, but we really liked it. And but this last season was only like 3 or 4 episodes. Like, how do you only have 3 or 4 episodes of a show that's only an hour or less anyways? I don't understand that. And then you're just like making us wait like 2 years for more episodes. Like, you make us love something so much, and then like you just take forever. That's my one concern about the Orville, to be quite honest with you, because they're talking about, oh, we need so much more time to make episodes of the Orville. Man, they did 2 seasons of the Orville that were awesome, fantastic seasons, and we were live streaming, watching the Orville with everybody. We got to know a lot of people through the Orville and stuff, and then all of a sudden now they're moving to Hulu, and like we're not hearing anything. It's just like we're waiting, and it's like this whole season's almost gone by, and we haven't heard a thing about any updates on the Orville. Are they shooting it? Are they making it? Like, at what point are they? Do they still have scripts? Have they even started filming it? Like, what's the deal? By the time the Orville comes back, the people who, like, the momentum that it had is going to be gone, because people are going to forget what happened, and that ticks me off, to be quite honest with you.
Bruce
Right.
says, I miss Orville's popcorn.
Yeah, we started up with a lot of people with the Orville here on the channel, didn't we?
Mark says if they throw enough money at a production, they can make things happen faster. Star Trek TNG cost $1 million plus per episode, and that was back in the 90s, which is like $10 million today.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just don't understand why all these streaming services are taking so long to put out episodes, and then we only get, it's not like when we get Stranger Things, it's not like we get a 22 episode season, we get an 8 episode season, and they put it all out in one day, and everybody binges it in 2 days, and then like you got to wait 2 years. It's frustrating. That's one reason why I kind of like the way that Disney Plus has been doing it, putting an episode out a week, because honestly, as much as I'd love to watch something in one day, can you imagine if they put all of Clone Wars out in one day? Like, everybody wouldn't wait around people don't wait around for us to watch them anyways. People watch them like a second time with us, and that's fine. But you know what I mean? Trying to like watch that stuff, like it's all watched within a couple of days, and then everybody talks about it for like a day or two, and then you're just done, and that's the problem. I think, Stranger Things has been an anomaly because Stranger Things has been so good that everybody's really liked it. So they talk about it a little bit more, but like, can you imagine if they like, with season 3 of Stranger Things, if they had spaced it out, where like it was 8 weeks, then you'd be coming back every week and talking about Stranger Things with your friends and stuff. As much as I love the idea of binging something, it just still seems that, putting it all out in one day just isn't good. I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. But is that it?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hey, it was lots of fun. It's midnight now, and we still haven't eaten. So, we love you guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. You guys are always so much fun. I just love hanging out with you guys and having a good time. So, what's that? Your nose is cold. Still cold. All right. Hey, I think we're gonna do. I think we're gonna do a series of stuff. Tell me, guys, in comments and stuff like that. Message me or whatever about things that you'd like to see us do a series of, because we're doing a series of this Superman. What we love about the Man of Steel. I'm thinking about doing a series just called "What We Love About Blank." And if you guys give me ideas, like we'll like maybe do an episode of like obviously, we could do what I love about Star Wars, but, just different things and just picking out different stories, because like with Superman, we're just going to pick out like one little thing. The first episode was from this live stream actually a couple of weeks ago. And then the second episode we did about Superman 4, but it it was kind of a longer thing because it was a reaction thing, so it's like a half-hour episode. I want to do like episodes that are like about 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes, and just talking about like a specific little thing. So we're going to continue talking about Superman, and we already got the next episode kind of figured out what we're going to talk about. Actually, it's a part 2 for Superman 4. I wouldn't think that we would like do a couple parts on Superman 4, but I've realized through this and doing research on it and everything else that I enjoy Superman 4. It's been a bad movie, but there's a lot of really good things in Superman 4 that it's unfortunate that it gets the bad rap that it has because it was such a low budget production value because of Canon Films taking over the rights to it and Warner Brothers just distributing it. So it's unfortunate because Christopher Reeve really was a passion thing for Christopher Reeve, and it didn't turn out the way that he had hoped that it would. And that's life. Sometimes things don't turn out the way that you hope they will. Now for Enosh's final thought. Things don't turn out the way that you think that they will all the time, but keep your head up. Keep looking forward, right? Because tomorrow's another day, and that's how we got to look at everything. So guys, till next time, I'm Enosh, aka Enosh Vet, along with the lovely
Tiftastic.
saying I hope you got plenty of toilet paper, and hope you got plenty of Orbit's gum for your butt. Right? Orbits. All right, guys. Till next time. Bye-bye. Say goodnight, Tiff.
Good night, Tiff.
Mark says, Tiff,
Yeah,
stop
stop
touching your mouth. Till next time, guys. Bye.